Aha, I tricked you. It's actually Oblivion Remastered. No, it's not. It's We're going to go over Doom Dark Ages, okay? I'm going to go over this game. What's up, chat? It's been 6 days. It hasn't been a full week, but I wanted to stream yesterday, but I decided to keep it for another day. I was like, I said about once a week. And, this is a bit earlier than once a week, but I wanted to see how well my video was doing, too. That's what I was concerned about, was the Rayman video. And I've got to say, I'm pleasantly surprised how well it's doing. You say this as a person who's only gotten like 35 views on it, but it's pretty good for me. I'm actually getting good YouTube search results that people are actually looking at Rayman and my videos popping up, so I'm glad that's getting into the algorithm. What's up, guys? How y'all been? It's been 6 days since my last stream. I hope you guys have been doing well. Keep it to yourselves. Boo! This guy stinks! The stream would be so cool if you played Fallout New Vegas. Absolutely not. Nope. Be cool if I ranted and raved about modern gaming instead. How about that? The diatribe you'll hear for a thousand billion years as I punish you for entering the stream. I haven't seen the Rabbids video. Been busy this week. I didn't make I don't want to make a Rabbids video. I don't. First of all, have I ever played Rabbids? I gotta remember. On the Wii? I don't think I ever played. I played Rayman 1. I've played Rayman 2. I played Rayman 3. I played Rayman Origins, and I played Rayman Legends, and even Rayman Arena for PS2, which was more of a party game. Not party. I don't want to call it. No, it's PvP. PvP. Yeah, that's correct. For 1v1, v1, v1. Essentially, you could use the multi-tap to plug in your controllers, and you could battle each other. It's an arena fighter, essentially. But it's not like 3D fighter in a traditional sense. There's power-ups and stuff. It's kind of like Power Stone. If I was going to compare it to something, but it's not that top-down view. It's third person behind the back, not behind the shoulder. If you play Fallout New Vegas, like, as everyone would join. Yeah, right. It'd be cool. I did that on the other channel. No one joined. It'd be cool if you ranted and saved about... What? Yao Guai? Dude, imagine how fun a Fallout New Vegas playthrough would be. I didn't like half the... Or no, not half the DLC. I don't want to say that. I already told you I had no interest in playing Fallout New Vegas ever again anytime soon. It probably maybe in another 5 to 10 years I'll consider it. I mean, Skyrim I didn't play for another, decade? And I'd even complete it the first time around when I got it. Even when it had the DLC, I didn't care. The Rabbids superseding Rayman in popularity is like if Nintendo built the Mario franchise around Koopas instead of Mario and Rabbids weren't originally in Rayman. That's the weird... What are Rabbids from? Rayman? Is that what they just arbitrarily decided? Because they're not in Rayman 1. I tell you that for a fact. I don't think they're in Rayman 2 or 3. They're not in Rayman Arena. And they're not in Origins or Legends. So they just created this new creature out of nowhere just to do a fun gimmick on the Wii. That's why I didn't like Rayman. That's like try to cash grabbing on the Wii's motion controls and stuff like that more than trying to make a new mascot. Because holy hell, Ubisoft was like bankrupt on the idea of what Rayman could be at that point. There's that bad middle stretch after Rayman 3 and Rayman Origins where it's like, we don't know what to do with Rayman. We want to start new IPs, and that's when Assassin's Creed came out, and that's when they were focusing more on Far Cry. You're just not looking... I gotta move my screen forward. I'm trying to get used to it. My monitor's a bit smaller than the TV I had. All right, well, let me move this forward a little bit. Because even though you blow up the screen, the text doesn't get larger. I think we should focus more on where the Legion would be attacking. I'm like, what? Seeing this monitor from 50 feet away. You're not just doing it right. We need to max out endurance and unarmed and get spiked knuckles and then go. But Fallout New Vegas is just Skyrim in the apocalypse. I know that might be a crazy take, but I just played in 100% in Skyrim. I'm not going to do it again. Okay, let's get to the actual part. Does anyone even care about Doom the Dark Ages? It wouldn't surprise me if you guys don't care about modern Doom. Maybe you're a big old Doom head. I beat 1 and played 2. I don't think I ever beat 2. But like I said, I had my Doom story where I was playing Doom 1 without running because I didn't know there was a run button. Because you were moving. Because what's cool about Doom is that you move pretty quickly in movement speed for an FPS, right? Where running in an FPS is pretty much mandatory now. Back then, you had good enough movement speed with Doom, and being in the center of the screen, it was pretty good to move around and turn. It felt good to play. I barely care about Doom 2 or Doom 64. Doom 2 is not even that bad, though. Doom 64 I get. Doom 3 I get. I got the flipping Doom Dark Ages ad right before the stream. Finally, I'm getting in the algorithm. That means I'm getting in, Yeeter. I'm getting in. Also, Yeeter, there's some good news I got to tell you. My old Dead by Daylight video, the first time player experience, is actually getting picked up in the algorithm a little bit. I think it has 100 views now. So, yeah, that's long-term gains right there. Let's see if we can get to 1K by the end of the year. I finished Zion and then went back and looted everything. I was already, I guess I would say I would be overpowered even in normal. Assigned to play, absolutely not, Eater. You will not drag me back. And no, also as well, because I'm going to be starting to make more of those gaming videos. The Rayman video did well. It's 5th out of the top 10 latest videos I've done, which is pretty good for a video that has nothing to do with what's popular right now. Right? It's doing better than Oblivion Remastered was in the same period of time, if I remember correctly. I mean, I could check that right now as we get into Doom the Dark Ages. But I'm just asking you as a premise, does anyone actually care about modern Doom? All right, or what? No, it's actually 4 out of 10 right now. It's actually doing better than Oblivion Remastered did in the same amount of time. So the past 2 days of 10 hours in terms of views. Like I said, it's getting picked up in the YouTube search algorithm. Thank goodness. According to Sandy Peterson, one of the original ID developers, claimed that Doom Guy runs over 140 miles per hour. Well, he doesn't run like that in Doom the Dark Ages. You're slow now, which is one of the things I'm going to criticize about it. Or rant about. Also, Deltarune full release June 5th. I ain't playing Deltarune. I am reviewing mostly retro games right now, Yeeter. Oh, anyone watch the Rayman vid? No, you didn't. Actually, I know because the view duration is not even a 10%. So I know you guys may have seen it, but didn't watch it all the way through. I think if Dugadon were streaming Fallout New Vegas, people would actually watch. Come on, man. The Duke days of YouTube. The Duke days, the Dark Ages. The Duke Ages, like you said earlier. Duke of the Dark Ages. Wouldn't it be... The Doom, well, I guess because Duke has, you could change the G for an M. Doom Slayer isn't Doom Guy. They call him Doom Guy in this. I just want to point that out, if I remember correctly. They call him both. I think actually because the subtitles, I think call him Doom Guy, but I'm not for sure. Try to remember, because I've seen gameplay. I was watching gameplay about it. This game is just, it's weird, right? I wouldn't say it's not, I don't know. It's like one of those games where it's mediocre, but it's not a good Doom game in terms of the original concept of what Doom was in terms of movement speed. Because now they rely on the shield as the main gimmick. Right? You're going to be parrying and blocking. You know what I love in a Doom game? Parrying and blocking. For a first-person shooter, you know what my mentality... Imagine having... Well, I mean, it's not saying there wasn't a shield in Call of Duty. That's the riot shield, right? Imagine if the riot shield could just parry melee. I mean, it blocks it, but parries melee, and then you just stab them. Wouldn't that be crazy? Oh, wait, that's Dark Souls. Not the same guy. Don't blame me. Talk to ID Software. Also, this game doesn't run well. Shocking. Because they have forced ray tracing. Are you out of your mind? Listen, developers, I know I'm a small channel and you'll probably never hear this. This is just for me to say in part of the video. Stop forcing ray tracing. No modern graphics card that is reliable in the commercial grade or even mid-range, let alone higher grade, is getting good FPS numbers. And this is where I put the tech power-up numbers on the screen. Okay, or Gamers Nexus, or one of those channels that have constantly reviewed this and said, why are you forcing ray tracing? Stop forcing ray tracing. No one can run it on PC. Stop doing that. Almost no one. Obviously, enthusiasts here were just like, oh, this is the greatest game ever because I spent $5,000 unnecessary dollars on a PC. Yeah, you're out of your mind. Bro, it ain't ID, it's id Software. Whatever. You know what's crazy? You're not streaming Fallout. All right, we're moving into Doom the Dark Ages, okay? So this is the beginning opening screen, okay? And I'm comparing it to Eternal and Doom 2016 as well, so you guys understand the comparison that I'm going through. This was the previous game, Doom Eternal, released in 2020. This looks like a Doom game, right? It even has what I consider the Doom-styled font. That you know it's like the runic stuff, hell, relating to hell. Okay, kind of like the original Doom was. And you say, well, what was the original Doom like? Well, this is what the original Doom was like. It had that type of... Well, it didn't really have that crazy font. The Doom type, obviously the name does, but the regular font was in red, and it kind of looks... It's a bit pressed together there. The E is on top of the R right there. You didn't space it out there. But, I mean, that happens. That even happens in Sony Vegas and other editing programs. Or whatever they were using to make this game. But, yeah, they had good names. Oh, they had good episode titles, too. Also, this game, Doom the Dark Ages, has chapters as well. But this looks sci-fi as well, but hellish. Because it's red. Look at the background of Doom. I just want to point it Geiger-esque, I would like to call it. Hellish. Anything that was Hellraiser, maybe even. I don't know. Hellraiser might be a bit of a stretch, but there is like the scenes where the guy is. It's a practical effect where they did it in reverse, if I remember correctly, where the body is rebuilding itself from blood on the floor. Excellent practical effects scene. I played past Doom 64. Sorry. Well, that's why I'm sure. If you know what Doom 1 is, though, I would say even the pentagram. It's supposed to like. It's kind of hammy a little bit. It's kind of cheesy a little bit, but it's supposed to show you that you're supposed to be fighting in hell. Demons, at least. A hellish environment of some sort. You know what I mean? But look how fast you move. I mean, it seems kind of a bit slow maybe now in modern FPSs, but I still think you move at a pretty good, adequate speed. Right? More than enough to be able to dodge things and shoot things while moving. Right? DMCA? What are you talking about? What's going on? Also, why can't I hear... Oh, because I don't have my headphones. It's like, why can't I hear the music? Also, one of the most iconic things about Doom is the music. Mick Gordon's not in Doom the Dark Ages anymore. I have no idea what happened. I don't... Apparently, there might have been a petty dispute about something like that. I have no idea. I have no idea whatsoever, man. So, but this is what the title screen looks like. This is apparently a prequel as well. A prequel before Doom Eternal. Or not Doom Eternal, Doom 2016. Right? And they try to do like some medieval font, but it doesn't look like Doom anymore. It looks like a generic game. A generic modern game. Something like Avowed or, hey, why did I mention Oblivion Remastered here? Because you see this top font? Notice how these two fonts don't match? This font looks eerily, not necessarily one-to-one, it's not. But it's that generic font style you'd probably find or download off the internet. Mick left during Eternal because Bethesda kept screwing him over. That's my point. And he's not, and the music's generic in this game. It's not very good. It's not as iconic as Mick Gordon's. Or original Doom. That's the worst part. It's a tragedy in two parts. It's not saying that the original Doom is held to like an amazing standard. It's just, it's very good. Because where the inspiration came from. Right? With, if I remember correctly, Cormac. Obviously, Pantera and those metal bands at the time were a great, you know what I mean, inspiration for that. I have no intent of playing any games released after Fallout. No game released, as Austin says, no game released after 2003. Mick said he didn't quit Doom, rather he quit a toxic client. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It makes sense how Doom's turning out. Like, you could just tell how much, I wouldn't say soul, but at least trying to stick to Doom. The Doom aesthetic of hell. Hellish colors, hellish design. You know, like I said, this is the opening of Doom. We're trying to show you that it's hellish. And also, do you see that? Oh, wait, no. How do you unlock Nightmare there? Why is Ultra Nightmare? I mean, codex entries and stuff like that. This is straight up just modern games. Why Doom? Why not Fallout New Vegas? Because I don't want to play Fallout New Vegas. I will time you out if you keep spamming it. So we're getting into Doom 2016, and I don't think it's a pre-rendered cutscene. And this scene is similar to the scene in the beginning of Eternal with the same symbol. Notice how they use the same symbol? Because they're trying to properly sequel. Not derivative of, not adjacent, not parallel, not askew, not perpendicular. Okay, sequel. You're trying to combine the two games from one transition to another. You're wondering why I point this out, because Doom the Dark Ages is a prequel. And you know my position on prequels. When you start giving things in prequels that weren't there in the sequels, it makes no sense. So Magically Doom guy decided never to use a shield again. That's probably in the story. I didn't see all of it. But he just says, nah, I won't use the shield again. I won't use blank gun again. What? Oh, okay. That's why I said that was kind of my complaint about Halo Reach. It's like, I'm not saying Halo Reach is a bad game. It's a good game. But it feels like there's things in that probably should have been around afterwards. But that's more like ludonarrative dissonance and stuff like that, okay? But like I'm showing you, look. Intro is with the same symbol that starts out with Doom 2016. It's about continuity. Notice that this is an in-game cutscene, by the way. It's not pre-rendered. In-game cutscene. Just pointing this out. In-game cutscene as I'm pointing this out. Well, let's get to Doom the Dark Ages then. Oh, this game also has sliders. My biggest issue with this is that Doom's not... I don't want to call it a sandbox game. My problem is when you start putting all these modifiers on the screen and stuff like that, you're making it the player's responsibility to try to have fun instead of the developer trying to have fun. You know what I mean? They're forcing the player to choose their own fun instead of making the game fun normally. right? That's like this difficulty should already have all this stuff with it. All right, I mean, there's not saying there isn't fun stuff you can do with modifiers and sliders, but I think you probably should unlock these after you beat the game, not before. But the problem is this game has 22 chapters in it, okay, and it's slow as hell. Do you ever consider you overanalyzing? No. I don't analyze things enough. That's the problem. I actually enjoy a lot of things, and I've talked about the things I enjoy about, but you can only talk about the things you enjoy about forever. I've talked about a death with people in my life before. You know, that's why you didn't get to see that during my life. You know, I'm old enough now. But yeah, let's continue on as well. We need to get into the game. So the problem is, the difference is here is that we're doing, I don't know, this game feels like Lord of the Rings type lore, and I have no idea why. Why? It's like, if you're going to copy stylization of Lord of the Rings, you better be pretty damn close to the thing you're copying to, because Lord of the Rings is held up to a pretty high standard. Okay. Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. If you haven't noticed, this cutscene is not the same thing as we saw in Doom Eternal and Doom 2016. Right? It's not the same, because now we're not even doing in-game cutscenes. We're now wasting more time and effort to not only put ray tracing as mandatory, but we're also now having pre-rendered cutscenes in the game. You know what I mean? Why are you even doing that? Why even take the time? I have no idea. You know what I mean? I don't get it either. I just don't get it. Why even waste more effort into trying to put something that doesn't even look that great? I'm sorry, dude, but you're trying to... Modern games are always trying to outsource their content, do all this stuff, and ruin the things that people like for no reason. Changing things that don't need to be changed. How many times have you told? You know what I mean? Don't tell me about living life. I drink beers. Good for you, man. Eternal caused a big rift because they got all these Zoomers and Millennials unfamiliar with Doom's legacy to just pump the game with the lore. Yeah, it's like, did Doom ever need this overarching story? It's like, yeah, you don't care about game or story, then why is it in the game? Buy a gun, then I didn't want the thing with the gun. Why am I buying the gun then? Huh? When it's mandatory that it comes with it, not an optional attachment, I have to deal with this problem with this gun that I didn't want now. Okay, no one asked for this. Or a majority of people probably didn't ask for this. Let's be honest. Did people raise their hand and say Doom needs to be a Lord of the Rings, Elder Scrolls RPG storyline? Did anyone raise their hand and say that? Really? Was this a focus group that we don't know about that id Software did? Where in the past 5 years, by the way, that they were making this? Okay, what are you talking about? And I'm muting this just in case for copyright and stuff like that. Even though I'm analyzing it a lot, it's because also why I'm analyzing it the way I am is because of copyright. That's specifically why I do that as well, besides having a lot of things to voice about with this. And it's just like, the first thing when I saw, Jesus Christ. Okay, hold on, that was pretty bright. Carmack has been infamously quoted as saying stories of games are as necessary as story and You know what I mean? I just don't know why they try to make things look like the Nazgul. That's my problem. Is like, that's why I said with the Lord of the Rings, there's even dragon creatures in it that look like the Nazgul riders. And I'm like, well, if you're going to copy Lord of the Rings, you better do it right, because it's held to a standard. But obviously the modern gamer just doesn't care. Okay, they just don't care about gaming. They just want to dick around and waste time. They don't care about things that are fun or enjoyable. They just think it's fun and enjoyable because it's basic. I understand there's a genius to simplicity, but this is a hat on a hat is what we're talking about here. Too much for especially poor performance. Unnecessary amount of stuff to Doom that never needed it. Never needed it, probably nor wanted it. You know? We can listen to a little bit of dialogue.
But our time is running out.
Notice how they sound like a Nazgul? You know, at least the Nazgul had like long cloaks and stuff like that that make them seem more mysterious. But I think they showed their mouth, I remember, in The Lord of the Rings. But it's like, it's even weirder. My also conniption fit comes from this weird pseudo sci-fi and fantasy combined, right? You try to have like castles and buildings that are made of like this weird metal and stuff like that, but try to keep it in a medieval setting. Has always kind of bothered me when people try to do that stuff. Because it just doesn't make any sense. If you have all this advanced technology, would you really be building suits of armor like this? You know what I mean? And it's funny because I'm pretty sure Halo was inspired by Doom, right? In some way, shape, or form. And now Doom is being inspired by Halo, by the cutscenes that they decide to do. Also, just want to point out the Halo Master Chief Collection cutscenes still look better than this. Again, that was made 10 years ago. Just pointing that out. I'm pretty sure this had a larger budget, by the way. Dude, what do I do with my staircase lady? Is sagging out? You use joystick or something? Probably. Wait a minute, the entirety of it? Never. You keep getting me distracted. Yeah, and it's just like characters I don't care about. Where's Doom Guy? Where's Doom Guy? Like, it's not me being ADHD. It's like you are telling me with the cover of the game, right? This is the problem with video games in the modern era too. False advertising. Okay, borderline false advertising or just false advertising in general. Okay, you give me this trailer about how Doom Guy is this cool guy. He's a badass. Barely says anything, right? And then we get this. The stuff I don't care about with Doom, right? None of this. I don't care about this. It sucks. It's not needed. It's not. They force it to be important. It feels contrived. Commander Lady looks like female Clark Kent. Okay. All right. Those Blur Studio Halo 2. I see it when I compliment Halo. I'm telling you, man. Master Chief Collection is for me holds a higher standard in terms of what a remaster can do to a game, while still allowing the original to be played too, as I've said as a billion times as an argument. Tomb Raider did the same thing, not nearly as well, but it's like if you want to be able to, you can literally just at a click of a button, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. They didn't need to do that. The same thing I argued in Rayman. They didn't have to do this, but they did it anyways because they actually cared. Soul versus soulless, the argument of our lives, man. For some, it will not matter, but for one day, what is it? For someone, it will be their entire lifetime. For another, it will just be another Tuesday. Doom's lighting still looks great even 20 years later. No one understands how to light things anymore, dude. It's either too much dude. Oh my gosh, I know we're getting off topic, but I mean, it's probably going to be a long stream of me ranting and talk about other things because we got to get to 2 more trailers after this. I was watching Crobcat's video on Dark Souls Remastered and Dark Souls 2 when it was an alpha to when it was released. And I'm saying I wasn't completely mind blown, but I've never seen the Dark Souls 2 alpha. Okay, I never saw that interview by IGN because I knew the game looked wrong. It's not like hindsight bias. I know Dark Souls 2 looks wrong of how things look in terms of its shading, lighting, stuff like that. It's too bright in some areas, too dark in others. Same thing with the Dark Souls Remastered. I said it when I first bought it on stream, not in this channel, but another one where I said Dark Souls Remastered is not worth $50. Okay, it's not. It was worth maybe $20, especially because they took the original Dark Souls off the store just for them to force the remaster down your throat. Hate From Software for that one. Doom 3 is freaking dark. I just saw you did a superscript. You didn't expo it there. Doom 3. I'm like, what is that small number? I'm like, oh, it's Doom 3. That's how it looks like on the game. That game is also pretty dark, and especially if you were on a CRT, it would look insane. But I mean, you might have a little glow and whatnot. But this is the Dark Ages. Things. Look how long it takes to get because we got to set up the story now. Set up the story. Oh, look, it's Doom. Hey, the guy we care about. The character we're going to play as? You know what I mean? At least Halo did. I think Halo did a better job at not necessarily. You didn't have to show Master Chief all the time, but he was there enough, right? Because I'm remembering from the Master Chief collections, like, they had to set up their story. And the story's important in Halo. It's literally called, Halo is called Halo because those big rings. Hey, let's describe what those big rings in space are and the importance of them are. You're not describing what the concept of Doom is, okay? Doom was not created by for this crazy lore. You're in hell, fight him. Done. Let's go. With great music. But it did, or not did it. I almost did the Megalovania. You know what I mean? I played it on guitar before. Duke is practically a CCP member with membership. No, I timed you out because you won't stop repeating yourself. As I said, I would do, so I went through with this. Surprised you're not praising me for being honest. Man. All right, but we're still in cutscenes. I don't care. This is not Oblivion. Okay. We don't need long, whiny cutscenes to describe a story I don't care about. Okay, so the first thing you notice. Okay, well, hold on. Bruh, imagine having to force yourself to make the game difficult. Imagine Dark Souls having sliders. People would lose their mind. You should do a stream every 5 minutes where you down a 6-pack of Modelo's. I don't even drink. All right, so the first thing you noticed, right? What did you? I don't think you copy and pasted that image properly. You did not. I can't even. It's half a URL in there. It's not even a proper URL with that. What is going on? Hydrate. I got some water. I don't smoke either. I'm not going to smoke Marlboro Red just because someone tells me to. Oh, that water's pretty good. All right, hold on. Let me copy paste the whole thing because it's only part of an URL. It's not a full one. John Carmack coded Quake on a 28-inch 60 by 9 1080p monitor in 1995. That's not real? Was it true 1080p or was it 1080i? There's no way. Really? Was it true 1080p or was it 1080i? Is that even true? Was 1080? I'm not saying it didn't exist, but hold on. That was an article in 2011. Yeah, but they said that the world's first... That's plasma. That's not the same thing. The first consumer-grade LCD computer monitors were released around 1997, but they were mostly 5x4, 4x3. Carmack had 1080p in 1995. Oh, my God. Is that really true? What? What? Are you serious, dude? Okay, I'm starting to realize... I know Carmack's like legendary in terms of game coding and stuff like that, but holy hell. That... In 1990... Dude was way ahead of his time. Can I use a band game action? No, I gotta talk. It's the whole point of this. 1080p was a thing since the Kate... he said since the Kate 1980s. Late 1980s was hella expensive. Yeah, I kind of figured it was, or it was probably too big to wield around. That or... there's probably other issues with it as well. But usually the 1080i was the other one, too, where it was interlaced instead of progressive. But we're talking about computer monitors. We're not talking about TVs, which are two different things. Look, it's Ironheart. But as we get into the game, you'll notice that the movement speed's a bit... See, he had a run there, but it's kind of just clanky. You know what I mean? Because now you actually feel like a tank. This game is all about defense more than it is about offense. It's more about... Because the whole game is made around the shield as the main concept. Right? That's a 60 euro monitor Carmack used. God, if only we could have... Dude, I bet that... Is that in a museum of any kind? Do they actually have that monitor in a museum, or does Carmack still have it? I would keep it. Dude. Especially now with retro collecting, people are insane. I think I saw a Jensen Huang, right? Jensen, the guy who's the CEO of NVIDIA. There was a graphics card going for like $40,000 or something like that, just because it has a signature on it. It was like an Ada Lovelace GPU on, I think, eBay. Right, so those are grunt enemies, but now you're just slow. And everything's based around the shield. You're now going to have to keep relying on it to do everything that you want to do. Throw the shield, block things with the shield, parry with the shield. But you're playing essentially Simon Says or Guitar Hero. Green, you can parry. Red, you can't. You have to block or dodge. Right? I don't think there's even a proper dodge. I think there might be a dash. I mean, there's a sprint technically, but it's not. The issue is when you're trying to make an arena shooter, you got to be able to strafe. Right? For better movement. That's what you could do in Doom. Now, okay, let's just show Doom 1. Notice how you can turn a corner, but you're moving simultaneously forward and to the right. It's like drifting. You can essentially drift in Doom 1, which looks like strafing, right? Not necessarily one-to-one like Ratchet and Clank where it's just left and right, but in an arena shooter, it makes it better for you not only to turn around corners to shoot enemies, right, but also to be able to go around corners to avoid enemies. Not just to shoot them, but to avoid. It's good for movement in both offense and defense. The movement in Doom the Dark Ages is really more defensive than it is offensive. Hello, what's up, Arthurs? How you doing? And it's just, Doom feels good to play. I don't feel like it feels like ass to play, right? And it's good enough speed. I mean, you could truck through these guys if you want. I mean, you don't have to sit here and just not necessarily be the best. This is not the best footage, but it's just an example of how Doom played, right? Not for the best, obviously. It's not on a CRT TV. It's not played on a, or like SNES or anything like that. No, I think it's played on PC. I'm moving to Arizona, Nevada, Utah section of the world because of my favorite game ever. Okay. RV ride from Massachusetts to Hoover Dam. Nice. Did you know Doom 4 was in development for 7 years because they were stuck on following bad industry trends before resetting focus on speed and brutality? This will say just stick to the core gameplay and you'll be okay for the most part. I mean, Doom 3 kind of went out there on a limb. Like Doom 1, 2, and I don't know about 64 nearly as much, but at least Doom 2 is okay. I'm so serious. Well, right on, man. Have fun out there. They still try to keep like the bottles and stuff that was in original Doom, like armor pickups and stuff like that. But it's not the same. Look at that melee, dude. What is it called? It's not rotoscoping. It's FMV technically, full motion video, where it looks like more human. A human was in there, like Mortal Kombat. I miss that a little bit. I don't know if it'd be good for the modern gaming. It'd be goofy. But also notice I think Doom ran pretty well when it was first released. I'm not saying it wasn't taxing in 1993, but I wouldn't say there's a lot of bugs and stuff like that. But it's not like graphically intense. Well, it doesn't look graphically intensive. It has good textures though, I think. Obviously it's flat. It's not 3D, but it's good. But like I said, you notice the movement here. So this is with the shotgun and the shield, okay? I feel like you feel too thick. You notice how in Halo, here's another comparison. You know how in Halo, and they talk about how the armor's heavy, and they talk about the whole procedure of becoming a Spartan, right? You're heavy as hell. I'd argue you might be heavier than this guy. Doom Guy, Doom Slayer, whatever you like to call him. I don't know at this point. They also notice how they try to keep the head, but it looks kind of, I get that it's supposed to be digital, but we're in the dark ages. Whatever, man. I don't know how I transport 3 dogs and 3 cats. Well, you got to figure that out, or else you're going to have to give them away. If you can do that. The shield block, like I said, is just blocking stuff. It's okay. It kills demons, and you got to do challenges and stuff like that, but it just feels slow. It just feels slow. You're walking. Why? Like, it's just walking around more often than not, because sprinting and blocking could be a bit rough, right? Especially because we're in the early levels. Of course, this isn't going to be that difficult. And I've heard this game and seen that this game, both, has been said to be easier than previous Doom games. And, I mean, that's why they put the sliders in, so it's going to be, this is why I'm for like over a year, but I still got to go to class. Pro Shop's Pyramid's on the way. Past Pro Shop, and what, is it in Memphis, Tennessee? I'll be 100%. It'll just be tough. Right on. Rented RV. I have planned. Okay, right on, man. Good for you. Good for you, man. Think it through. Especially a big change in your life. But as I'm continuing on from being distracted from reading my chat to describe the game, I wouldn't call this yellow paint, but man, scratch marks on the wall that look a little bit like orange-yellow color. Man, come on. Come on, modern gamers. Come on. You got to say it's almost pretty much like yellow paint. Id Software's version of yellow paint. Climb the wall. As if the thing is, it's really interesting because I don't think this is a nitpick, right? Because you could argue that this is redundant. What's the point of having the way marker and the scratch marks, right? And you say, well, in some cases you might want to look for secrets. Well, secrets are on the map, by the way. Remember when secrets were supposed to be secret and not being told on the map? Yes, and this map is like Metroid. It has 3D leveling to it. So it means it has a top, middle, bottom sort of situation where you can rotate the map to see what's above you and underneath you. I'm not joking. It has a Metroid-type map. A 3D Metroid, not a 2D Metroid. What do you mean, what? I'm not joking. I don't know when they'll ever show the map, if at all, because I don't know if this person is just running through the game, because it doesn't look like they're trying to get the secrets, right? I don't think it is. But like I said, this reminds you of Halo 3 ODST too. Also, you get weapons as you progress through the level. You don't buy them. You buy the upgrades by finding secret rubies and stuff like that and gold. I won't even play this. God damn it. What? What? So the frame is so easy, they need to come up with an in-game modifiers to retain gamers' attention? Yes. Because they doubled down on using the shield instead of allowing more gameplay variety. Like I said, look how slow you're moving. I mean, this person could sprint more, but you don't want to sprint into an enemy, especially on harder difficulties, right? Yes, even at harder difficulties, you can get, 3-4 shotted and die. If not worse than that, Also, melee, you get ammo. I think that might be a consistent thing with the older games. Hold on. I'm trying to get to what part. I want to show the map. The map is literally like a Metroid map where it has 3D levels to it. We can rotate it. And it shows the secrets on the map. I'm not joking. I just wish this person would actually use the map for once. Or if I did, I accidentally skipped it. Because you're showing the gameplay. So you notice how they're sprinting? You sprint more to run away than you do to progress to the next area in combat. Why they do the shield dash, but this is the easy parts. It's not going to be like that later on. Also, I don't know what difficulty it shows. Okay, so this is where they tell you how to parry. It's right click. But why a prequel? Secrets are supposed to be things you find after playing and exploring a lot. No, they're on the map. They'll show you on the map. Like where the gold is, and they'll tell you that you unlocked a secret area. There's question marks on the map that show you. Hold on a second. Here, take this image. I don't know. Okay, it's a Skyrim image. Oh, hold on. I'll just show a picture of the Doom of the Dark Ages map. Okay, that's not what it looks like in-game. This is just a 2D version of that. It's 3D. It moves around in 3D. There we go. This is a perfect example. Oh, no, it's not the perfect example, but... Okay, this is pretty good, I think. I'm trying to show the ones that have the secrets on them. Because they're on a map. They're not... They're not really that secret. Did this person just show all the secrets already? Or are they very early in the game? Because like I said, this was pre-release. All right, everyone already has it. Because this game was pre-released, what? 4 days ago, the embargo was done, so everyone just started releasing content to jump on it first. But yeah, it's a 3D map. Here, I'll show you this now. Do you see that? I know it's to the right to a little bit, but it's 3D now. But you can see what paths you haven't taken and have taken. Notice how it's secrets in the top right? There'll be question marks on the map. There is one. You can't see my cursor. Let me put my cursor up. Oh, where'd the thing go? That was weird. Don't know why it switched off there. Can you see my cursor? You see my cursor? Right here is a secret, and they literally show you it by a question mark. Also, this game has so much exploration for a Doom game. Okay, you're going to constantly keep backtracking, look for secret, go around. Also, lives are in the game that you can grab as well as part of secrets. All right, so, yeah. Like I said, this weird Metroid map that you could rotate 3D, see everything on the map, like where you haven't gone. It's not really, it kind of ruins the whole point of exploration if you're just going to show me where something is. Right? Negates the whole point of that. Like, what's the point of that? Like you said, what is the point of having secrets if you're just going to look at everything? You know what I mean? I'm going to find all the secrets. Well, you can, but you're not finding them, essentially. They're being given to you. It's just figuring out what the secrets are. But they're mostly rubies, wraith stones, whatever. They're usually stuff to upgrade your weapons. Remember when Doom was just so the UAC us do evil stuff again. Opening portals to hell, Marine, go kill everything that moves, and that was it for lore. Yeah, I know. Then Doom 3 kind of... I think you kind of blame that on Doom 3, can't you? It's the more dark grittiness that started stepping away. The Doom movie didn't help. I'll tell you what, the Doom movie didn't help that everyone forgot about. I wonder who okayed that. I'm just walking to them from the map. Yeah, well, the other thing is like figuring out how to get the secret because it'll show like, well, what do I do here? And it's like, well, you just throw your shield at it. You can also throw your shield to get on top of a platform. And it's like, wasn't there a grappling hook in Doom Eternal? Why wouldn't you just use a grapple? You can invent all this crazy stuff, but not a grappling hook? Okay. You have a shotgun that's not from, like, even in the prequel, it's like, whatever, dude. It's like, it's saying, that's what I said, sci-fi and fantasy don't mix like this. It makes no sense. You can have a certain aesthetic about it. Like, remember when Master Chief was wearing a cape? Or not a cape. It was kind of, I can't remember what it's called. It's not a poncho. And obviously it would make, it's not to say that it makes practical sense to wear a poncho as a Spartan. It's the aesthetic of it. Right? But there's no, like, medievalness to this enough. Right? Yeah, you get a flail, but it's a demonic flail that might as well be sci-fi more than it is fantasy. Right? Magic. I wouldn't say it's magic. It's just, I don't know. Hell's a weird kind of thing to talk about in terms of fantasy stuff, right? Because it starts looming away from more fantastical elements and more horror, right? Event Horizon, as an example of what hell is like or what it's like to open to a hellish realm. Doom 2005 isn't that bad when you remember that it's basically adapting Doom 3. I don't know. Does that make it worse? Universal and Activision, who owned it by then? Yeah. Well... Oh, how we didn't know the shape of things to come. Yeah, see, it tells you. Okay, so that'll actually show you the auto map now. You got to get blue key cards, stuff like that. Oh, there we go. Hey, finally they showed the map because they finally told you, and the collectibles are here. You notice how there's things you haven't gone to yet? They just tell you where they are. You don't find it on the map. It's not like, what game did that? I'm trying to remember. I just played a game that was like that. It's not Skyrim. It's, that shows the area after you've walked around in it. And I can't remember. Event Horizon is a better Doom than Doom. And around 2009, ZeniMax bought id. But yeah, like I said, some type of Metroid 3D map. I know there's other games that are like that. I can't think of it on the top of my head. But there's an index to tell you where things are. If you saw that. But it just tells you where things are. Like, what's the point? Like, because the problem is that, well, it's a secret. Well, it's got to be a part of the map, and you show the map. How secret can it be? Oh, yeah, the index there. But yeah, it's just, this game feels slow and clunky in comparison to older Doom games. Even Doom 20, look at Doom 2016, right? Badass cutscene, by the way. Look at this. Oh, and I think they not tore down the gore. They toned it down. Excuse me. I got this dude. Okay. Wow, he removed the HUD. Did he really just do that? No? Okay, never mind. It was the beginning. All right. But this is the beginning of Doom 2016. You're in it. You're going. You're done. Okay, go, go, go. You know, well, this guy plays pretty, slow. I got to say. This person's not really like a running gunner for what Doom is. And you notice other people kind of aren't like that either because they're worried about dying. Look how fast Doom guy is moving, walking. Okay, his walk is like a speed walk. And yes, it's not like there wasn't cutscenes or whatever goofy stuff in this game, but they're not pre-rendered, so they don't take your time. Look at this, a good intro. Hey, guess what this copied off of? Halo? Remember Halo 1? Or Halo 2? No, Halo 2 was the one he came out of the cryogen. No, that was Halo 1. Halo 1. Guess what? Hey, remember Halo 1? Isn't it crazy? Like, one was inspired by the other, and then the other one was inspired by that. It all comes back around, because this is exactly what happens in Halo 1. Or close to it, where he gets into the suit. Oh, no, he comes out of the cryogenic pod, whatever. Wow, that's crazy. Wow, it's like hell and nightmares and stuff like that. Wow, it's like it's Doom or something. Visions of apocalyptic futures. I kind of can get with that. Halo 4? No, Halo 1. Halo 1 in the opening cutscene. Remember I played it on stream? And you're supposed to calibrate your controller because he comes out of the cryogenic pod, right? I'm pretty sure that's Halo 1. Anniversary Edition. Or it's Halo 2. One of the two. I know I'm getting them confused because I played it back-to-back pretty quickly. I mean, no, it's only an hour apart, but that's pretty quick to be when you start playing like 5 billion games a day. And hey, it tells you what's happening in the game. Demonic invasion, done. You don't even need to get like a pre-rendered cutscene to show this. Right? It's in the game. You can see it happening, and you can interact with it to understand what's going on. I don't know what happened to Samuel Hayden. I don't know if he died in Doom Eternal or just got left to the side, but he's gone. As far as I know, he's gone in Doom Duke Ages, unless it's a Duke Ages. Doom the Dark Ages, unless he's considered a secret or something like that. Glory kills are mostly gone. Why are you watching gameplay? Because I'm trying to compare Doom. Because I'm not playing the game. I'm ranting. I put that literally in the title of my stream, didn't I? Dark the Doom. I keep Dark the Doom Ages. Doom the Dark. DTDA. New Doom 2025. Okay. What I am showing is the differences between the new Doom games and even referencing the original Doom in terms of movement speed, gunplay, gameplay, and such as such. Okay. That's what I'm doing right now. Because I will be doing, this will probably be broken up into a video, maybe. It's not guaranteed because I will be reviewing the Steam reviews tomorrow. Obviously, the pre-releases are a bit, because I looked at them like, okay, you're kind of sucking this game off a little too much. You're kind of flating it, and I'm like, okay, you got to relax. I know, it's like, Steve, calm down. Are you freaking serious to remove literally the one thing that saved Doom for being a COD clone? I don't know. But no, there's a small amount. It's not the same way. It's not like, because you get executions. They're called executions now, right? And I don't know. They'll show them in the tutorial. It's not the same thing. I don't know if he'll show them here. Yeah, there it is. There's your execution. That's it. Did you see it when it said press E? That's your execution. Done and done. That's it. When is Duke do an actual review? I just released the Rayman one. I don't want to play these games. I'm sorry. If there's games, even if I don't like them and I don't want to play them, I'm not going to play them. I'm not going to force myself to play a game, just to get maybe some good clicks. It's like even if I'm talking about something popular, it's because I'm passionate about it. You know what I mean? Did I tune to a crash out? What? Yeah, I'm crashing out all over the place over Doom of all things. Not say I don't care about Doom. Like I said, I beat Doom 1. And Doom's awesome to a degree, I just like Doom's music is crazy good. I think that's because I like metal music, though. And the inspiration for Cormac. I like Quake's music, too. I liked, Quake 2's music, I think. So they used to do one of my industrial diss tracks where it was Trent Reznor as well, and I also like Nine Inch Nails, so they all come together. I saw the Rayman review. It's a review! Because I'm reviewing the game as I go. I try to do it differently than what you guys are used to. Okay, you're used to video essays just talking over things. I'm doing it as I play the game, which is not the same style that a lot of people are used to. It's like a let's play and a review at the same time. And it was better for me to talk through instead of trying to write 5 to 10 page scripts. Okay, that footage I used for Rayman was 2 hours long. And I cut it down to 45 minutes. Okay, 2 hours that I cut to 45 minutes trying to highlight the important things. Not necessarily overanalyzing, but to explain to a person why this game is good or interesting. And we live in the era of like 3 to 5 hour long video essays, okay? I kept it short in comparison. It being a highlight? How is it a highlight when I'm literally describing each detail of what makes this game good? The music, the gameplay. I am reviewing it. I even told you the pros and cons of the game, right? I'd watch a 2 hour documentary review. Let's hold the horses for now, okay? There's other things I want to do besides just making 2-3 hour logs. So like AVGN, but live. Nah, AVGN was more, not necessarily, more parody. He was more parody, though. This game is ass. And no, it's more like describing it, comparing what was going on back then. It's also for people, not just who never played the game, but never grew up in that era, right? Even if you grew up in the era, you probably understand. What about the composer? That was good music. That the music fits the themes of the worlds in the game, right? Mick Gordon's music in Doom fit Doom because it's... How many times is Rip and Tear constantly used as a monitor, or not a monitor, a motto, okay, or a moniker for Doom? Constantly. I mean, they did the Doom memes where they had the Revenants with the horns in the back. That happened, but Rip and Tear is what Doom's known for. Rip and Tear. Okay? Mick Gordon got effed off by Bethesda, though. Yeah, I know. That's why I'm talking about Dark Ages. The music's generic as well. And I don't even think it's in the... Was it in the tutorial level, or was it barely heard? I forgot that it wasn't... They didn't put music in the tutorial level. I was asking for the Rayman composer. I don't know it off the top of my head. It's not Stuart Copeland. The problem is I get composers mixed up. I'm like, is it Hans Zimmer? No. Is it Danny Elfman? No. Is it Stuart Copeland? No. Is it Mick Gordon? No. Is it... Here, hold on. It's French. I'm trying to remember. Grant Kirkhope's another one from Rare. You know what I mean? Because there's more of a collected effort as well as Rayman. It was their first time. Because if you notice in the credits, you see that there's I think siblings that worked on it. Created by 2 people, by the way. Rayman 1 was. Or not fully, but the idea for Rayman was 2 people, if the credits were correct. If I remember the credits correctly. Hold on a second. Because I don't know if the Rayman composer actually came back for 2. That's the problem. Oh, yeah, Remy. Remy Gazelle. He just passed away 5 years ago. But I don't think... Was he around for the second game? Oh, this was already also on Atari Jaguar. Let's see. What's the next game? Because I wasn't trying to do like an in-depth biography of how they went into making the game. That wasn't the point of the game I was reviewing. Right? Because I don't like... It's not... I don't want to do a biography. That's not the point. It's not a documentary. It's a review. But in real time, essentially. As I'm playing the game, I'm going to describe things to you in this game instead of writing a script and talking over it like a video essay. So you get the fact that, first of all, I've played the game and playing it in real time to let you know how I experienced it instead of just talking over. So it doesn't feel nearly as disjointed either. I know it happens in video essays sometimes where they have things on the screen that does nothing to do with what they're talking about. That happens from time to time. Yeah, Remy Gazelle. It was multiple people, though. No, that was Didier Lord. Because I'm trying to think if they came back for Rayman 2. Because, like I said, I played Rayman 2, but I don't. It has decent. Wait, hold on. Yeah, I didn't come back for Rayman. That too. That's why I didn't mention it. Because it's like, there's no consistency in composers. Mick Gordon's a big name because there's consistency. Grant Kirkhope's a big name because there's consistency. If you're there for a one-off game, unless it's like super legendary, that's really the you know what I mean. I see. It was fun and engaging, though. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm trying to engage the viewer as well. It's because it's more like for younger people, too. You know what I mean? Truth Nuke. What'd you just say? Truth Nuke! Use the N64 sound font for best results. I don't know if that's a Truth Nuke. Truth. What had really good... No, I wouldn't say the Sega Genesis, dude. Don't have them speak... Do not say the Sega Genesis. Whatever you do not show them Sonic Spinball. Okay, listen. I love Sonic Spinball. I even like some of the music in Sonic Spinball. But holy hell, where your ears become piercing. All right, the Mega Drive. I think, did the Sega CD have better sound? No, probably. Yeah, but Rayman was also a new 2D platformer. Not a new 3D one. They decided to go 2D after the first year the PlayStation was out. I played Sonic Spinball. Sonic Spinball's fun. That'd be like a short 10-minute video about why I like Sonic Spinball. Dude, you should just stream Blinks the Time Sweeper. I'm not like the biggest platformer guy. I'm really just talking about things I played when I was younger. You know what I mean? Playing a new game would be a different way of talking about it. That might be more of a video essay because I'm confident enough in Rayman 1 to know most things about it so I can talk about it as I go. And I can recognize or notice things in the game to point it out to you. There's things I haven't pointed out in the game that you can find on your own. Here, I'll give you another example. There's a point in the video where I say one of the ledges looks like a crocodile. But if you notice, it's up tilted because it's trying to tell you to jump. Right? That might be overanalyzing, but I think the intent of the designer... right, was to show you that this leap, also not just to fall straight off, first of all. It gave you a lip, so you wouldn't just fall straight into the water. But it's also like a ramp to tell you to go up, which is something I mentioned in Bongo Land. Or not, Bandland. I keep calling it Bongo Land. Bongo Hills is the first level. Bandland's the world. Stream Pong. I'd rather stream Tetris. I love Tetris. Rayman 1 was designed for the Atari Jaguar. And it was also on the Sega Saturn. And Sega Saturn got different music. Atari Jaguar got different music. I didn't even mention all that kind of stuff. But I was mostly focused on the PlayStation version. Right? I wasn't trying to show all the versions of the game. Right? But the Sega Saturn one I don't think is bad either. Atari Jaguar, a little bit. And obviously, the Atari Jaguar was lacking compared to the PlayStation and the Sega Saturn. But I even showed that the victory theme was different. They didn't have to do these things. There's a lot of things that I say about Rayman. Right? Doom the Dark Ages is stop doing that thing, right? If I would go tell the developer, anyone at id Software that was working on this, don't. Right? I wouldn't say in Rayman, well, you don't have to, but if you want to because you put soul into this game, do it. I want you guys, if you want to talk about soul, go back and look at Oblivion, the developers of Oblivion, where they actually went outside and touched moss, grass, took photographs of life, where they even describe in some scenarios that walking outside feels like it's being a part of a video game, that it would be. Right? People that you would consider nerdy, maybe incels and chuds at this point, actually went outside and actually touched grass. To know what the hell they were programming because they actually gave a flip about not graphics, but the artistic design and fortitude throughout the world. What do we call that? Immersion. This is a lack of immersion. It's too gray, it's bland, and I get that it's hell, but oh my goodness. Yes, but the shareholders want the game out now. I want to believe we could just put all the blame on the shareholders. But I think there's a trickle-down effect where it's everyone now. It's not just the people at top, it's the people at bottom too. Okay? To a degree, not everyone at the bottom, because if Claire Obscure Expedition 33, they were ex-Ubisoft employees, right? And they made their own game, which is pretty decent. Okay? So that means that if they actually got the choice to do something great, that they could potentially do it. But like I said, don't put too much stock in it right now. Play the game for what it is and just wait with bated breath whether or not they make another good game. Okay? You got to be aware of that. Okay, we don't want to overhype things to the point that they're not living up to the hype, is all I'm saying as well. Sonic Team literally went to Mexico in order to do research for Sonic Adventure. I'm just saying, dude, if I wish we could get better documentary, because now there's just a bunch of documentaries talking about old games, right? The one with Valve about Half-Life. The Crobecat made a video about Oblivion, obviously to point out the soul that was put in the original Oblivion compared to the remaster. About developers going out in the world in order to mimic it in their video games to cause the immersion for the world they were creating. What the flip do modern developers even do? It feels like Simulacrum. Okay, not even the desert of the real. It feels like a copy of a copy, like Trent Reznor said. 9 Inch Nails, it feels like a copy of a copy of a copy of a copy. But the copy gets worse as you're copying it. That's what it feels like, that each copy only gets worse as you copy it, instead of identical. Artistic value. It has clear and well-defined artistic value that doesn't seem like it's trying to copy a trend or someone else. Go look at most of PlayStation games and look how bright they are. Like Spyro, Crash, Rayman 1. Twisted Metal's pretty bright despite being dark. We can go through the entire Gex. Oh my God, Gex. Say Gex. Just play Balatro. I love Balatro's colors. It might be one of the more modern games that actually... I have Balatro. I played Balatro on stream. I'm done playing Balatro because I got to start talking about retro games. Because I'm trying to not just inform people that already know. That's not the point. If you already know Rayman, what's the point of watching a review about Rayman? I'm not here to confirm your bias. I'm here for people that don't know what the hell Rayman 1 is. Why is it good? Why is it soulful? Why is this in the game? Why? I'm here for the people that ask the question why, not when. Or who or how, or maybe how, to a degree. I might talk about that a little bit, but that's not the point. In some of my videos, I might put it more if it's like super impressive, like maybe Crash Bandicoot 1 where they hacked the PS1 or whatever because it didn't have the proper memory or whatever to make the game on there. That's a whole different topic. Okay. Oh, by the way, Gex Trilogy Collector's Edition has an inflatable Gex doll. Why? First of all, why do you know that? Second of all, why are you telling? Wait a minute. God, the view distance in the fog. I know it's bad, is it? Oh, my God. The FOV is... listen, Doom was like that, too, here. Look how close you are with the FOV, right? To be fair. But, hey, notice how this is in a corridor and not an arena. Doom 2016 understood with its FOV that you need to play in a corridor. Guess what the original game was like? Is this an arena or is this a corridor? Technically, it's an arena, but has what? A lot of corridors. Look at this. Look at this soul. Look, here's soul. I like how the one time I press the play button and the music's on, there's no music. It's just the sound effects. Oh, no, there's music. Hold on. Yeah, we got to get the snare drum in there. Soul bass guitar. Soul. I resonate with this. Vibe. I vibe with the soul. It's like in Dark Souls when you pick up a soul or use a soul. Oh, like it regenerates you, it fills you up. Oh. Wait, where'd the sound go? Why did the sound capture disappear? What the hell happened? What? Wait, did he just mute the game? Okay. That wasn't me muting it, by the way. I guess he just muted it. I don't know why. Copyright? Window V doesn't... Well, I'm not really like a... It's funny, for a guy who did green text, I'm not really like an internet forum user. You know what I mean? Obviously, I use some of the language, but... well, people up in chat bring it up, and I see some things because... It spreads like wildfire. When one website makes something, it just spreads like wildfire, and you constantly... The point you see it everywhere, and it becomes obnoxious. Like, YouTube will constantly recommend things, even if you're... Like, I'm in Firefox, and I'm not signed into a YouTube account. They'll just show you stuff, and you say, well, it's based on your thing. And I'm like, how? I'm in an incognito account. I don't have my YouTube history on my normal account, and I don't sub to anyone on my other channels. You know? Even the animation is soulful, and it's not like this 60 frame per second masterpiece of moving the gun back and forward. You know, it's not super smooth, but that's not the point. It was supposed to mimic, like I said, it's not rotoscope, it's FMV style. Like, you see the movements way quicker than just reloading and stuff like that, but I think that also adds to the difficulty. And also the limitations at the time. Mortal Kombat was the same way, and it's a little bit after this. I think 95? No. 94? Mortal Kombat? PS1 had ambience and N64 SFX. I can't even hate on the N64. I hate that Nintendo decided to use a cartridge, right? I think that was a death nail for the N64. And also a limited amount of games. Guess how many games are on the N64? I want you to throw a number out here. And if I remember correctly, I think I have this correct. I might have to look it up real quick just to be sure. I know the number, right? Or I know what it's less than, I should say. I want you to throw out a number or over under, right? By the way, which game console was it? The 3DO or was it the Bastards? That FMV on Doom? I'm one of those. Can't remember. I don't know. Less than 360 games the N64 between all three regions. Around probably less than 400. Those are both. Yeah. Yep. Like maybe less. Let's just go with less than 400. Right? Do you know how insane that is? You know, you all complain about the PS5 not having games, and to be fair, that is a fair criticism. Okay, this is more towards the rabid Nintendo fans that act like everything that Nintendo ever made was the greatest thing to ever walk the face of the earth. Forgets about the Virtual Boy. Forgets that the GameCube technically bombed in comparison. But yes, I understand it faced the PS2, but the Xbox did really well in comparison. My point is that when you limit an amount of people that can work on the console and stuff like that, you're only hurting the business. Yeah, and that got canned. I know. The GameCube was cheap! Dude, oh my God. I think the MSRP for a GameCube in America was $199. Are you... Oh my God. If the PS5 came out at $199, everyone would lose their flipping mind. It'd be like triple, quadruple sold out. How do you pre-order the pre-order, the pre-order, the pre-order? As soon as they start building it, it was already sold. Hell, they'll just give you the parts to build it at that price. Build that home console. Actually, said arcade games Ganon into slavery. A Link to the Past. When he was a pig. But Nintendo was deliberately selling GameCube systems at a loss. I know. I know. I'm not like I like Nintendo stuff, but I'm not a rabid fan. I'm trying not to be a rabid fan of things. Okay? I'm not a rabid fan of Rayman 1. I even criticize that the backtracking is an issue. And the necessity of trying to complete everything with the difficulty levels makes it way too hard for a kid to play, let alone an adult. Okay, I'm not saying I'm the greatest gamer ever, but holy hell. Rabbids, dude, we do not talk about Rabbids. I can't believe that. Not only do they make Rabbids, right, and they make DLC for, I think, what was it, Super Mario 3D World? One of the Mario games had Rabbids as DLC. But they just completely neglect that later on. Or no, before, when they make Rayman Origins and Legends, that plays more on Rayman 3 specifically, where Glowbox is, and the Teensies, and Rayman Arena, which also had some characters in there. Dude, could you stream some Rabbids? No, I do not like raving Rabbids. Do not at me. Do not at me right now about raving Rabbids, okay? That was just a marketing ploy to get more kids to buy that game. Or better yet, it feels like almost shovelware, bloatware. Right? Here's this side thing we don't really care that much about that we're putting on I think it was on the Wii first. It might have been on PS2 for motion controls. And we're going to go focus on Assassin's Creed and Far Cry. Says Ubisoft. We'll just give it to the third, fourth string team we got. So move on. I do not care for rabbits. It's not even like a Peter Griffin drowning in a ship meme. Okay? Do rabbits insist upon themselves? They shouldn't exist, let alone insist. Existence is futile for rabbits, and I'm so glad for the most part they're gone. Rabbits is like Minions to me, but at least Minions had a point of the existence in the movie, even if they're just a marketing ploy. Even if they were in the beginning a marketing ploy. Rabbits feel worse than Minions, I'd argue. Did you notice that? Hold on, let's go back. This transition cutscene reminds me so much of Spyro 1. It's insane. Like, this is the same transition cutscene of or Spyro 2. Isn't that like old platformers where they first of all fade in and fade out because they didn't have the well, it's not saying they didn't have the graphical. They try to put more a little emphasis on the cinematics, right? Fade in, fade out's a classic to usually help with transitions. Back in the day, it's even editing to this day. It looks cool too. It fades in and out and then goes back. It does it again. Dude, that's classic, like PlayStation platformer stuff. Rayman does it. Spyro does it. I think Crash Bandicoot does it with cutscenes. Holy hell, dude. I know some like, what? In a 2025 game? Really? We had a serious problem with shovelware because of actually being forced to lower their standards. Well, the graphics were lowered in their standards. The one thing I give Wii credit for, one of the models had 4 GameCube controller ports and being backwards compatible. Thank goodness. See, it tells you where it tells you that there's a secret key. That means it's got to be on the level, and they just show you the map, and it's like, oh, it's right there. Look, oh! You see this tablet? You know where that inspiration came from? This tablet looks exactly like the one in the video game I Have No Mouth and I Must Scream, which is the short story made by Harlan Ellison. They made a video game, point-and-click adventure. Same type of tablet. I'm not joking. I will show you a comparison. Okay, I have the knowledge. I have so much noticing brain power. The monolith. The monolith that has the entirety of Am's dialogue in the beginning, where he says hate. He goes through like the most hateful dialogue you might have ever heard by any fictional person, let alone real person. Okay, is this objective marker? Why do people mess with the old stuff? What are they doing with this? Why can I not see it properly? I mean, to be fair, this was on an old point-and-click adventure, but this is... is this peak? Let me tell you how... Okay, Reddit. How can I not get the proper AM monolith? There we go. Here we go. I know it's going to be a little bit to the right. Oh my gosh, it's so small. Dude, are you kidding me? There you go. This is what that reminded me of. This looks upgraded, actually. I don't think... Maybe, though, it's because it does zoom in on. They give a large picture in the back, and then they zoom in. I probably should just showed the game, but that's an example of it. Right? The game has, like, the sprites in the background moving. But that looks pretty close to that, don't you think? And it's funny, because it talks about hell, but this Harlan Ellison story takes place on Earth. You should change your name to Salt Upon Wounds. What a name. I didn't do that game. Fade in, fade out. All right, I read that. PNG, Fallout 1 graphics. It's an obelisk. Yeah, it's point-and-click game. Yeah, of the 90s. Fun fact, Harlan voices Ham. I knew that. I understood that reference. I like Roland's my reference guy, too. He knows a lot about video games as well. Or less, like, lore as well. But, yes, that's what it looks like. It's an obelisk. Yeah, obelisk, monolith, whatever you like to call it. A tablet, even... Like Old Testament, like Ben-Hur, not Ben-Hur, but like the Ten Commandments with Heston. All right. Anyways, moving on. This is the gameplay loop though, where you have to rely a lot on the shield to do things. Look at this. Look at this. Simon Says ask. Look at freaking mini game where they shoot green you parry, red you block, or just move out of the way. It gets even crazier. I need a Mancubus fight. Also, I haven't seen a single Cacodemon in this game. I don't know what happened to Cacodemons. Parry casual. Yes, it is. This is basically Dark Souls. Where the Doom is the Dark Souls. Dark Souls is the Doom. The weapons are okay, but there's an argument to be made. There's too many weapons because there's going to be clearly some weapons that are better than the other. Like the shotgun allows you to get, I think with one of the upgrades, get armor back. And even though the super shotgun does more damage, especially on harder difficulties, it's better to gain something while you're shooting. Cacodemon? Yeah. Whatever, man. Also, there is on-rail shooting segments in Doom. Oh my goodness, we finally got to it. I am not joking. You get on a dragon and do shooting like Legend of Dragoon. But it's not technically on-rail, it's open. But look at this. Is this Doom? And I'm not joking. You get locked in to the part of the objective, and you just dodge left and right and shoot. This is Doom now. What is this? What gameplay is this? Is this Doom now? Is this Halo? This feels like Halo Banshee fight, and at least Halo did it better with the Banshees. Like I said, Doom became Halo, and I don't get why. Like, what are you doing? I am Sauron! Like I told you, this was like I feel like this was based off Lord of the Rings, and they didn't understand Lord of the Rings. It feels like a simulacrum of someone that watched something that was like Lord of the Rings, but isn't Lord of the Rings, and then try to combine it with Hell. So you even have pentagram landing spots to let you know where to land. And then you go on the ship and fight. But yeah, there's segments where it's kind of like an on-rail shooter where you need to shoot things to get gold. I'm so glad I got to show that off. Where's the other one? There's also turret segments where you sit in a giant turret and fight a big demon. There's also a mech. I'm way too far in the game right now. Where's the mech segment? Oh, Mancubus. Wait. No. Did you show the shooting of the Mancubus? Also, yeah, plasma, you shoot the shield. Look at this Halo-ass enemy. Are you kidding me? You literally shoot a weapon that shoots plasma to destroy the shield and the other enemies around you that had those shields. Guess where you do that in? Halo? Why is Doom copying Halo when Halo was the inspiration for Doom? Are you out of your mind? Did Doom 2016 do that? Maybe I missed that in the first game. But like, I mean, I can understand why glory kills can get old in the old game, but notice how you're in a corridor? All right, hold on. Pistol, shotgun. I need to see, is there an enemy like that in Doom 2016? Also, these arenas are a lot smaller, too. Until you get to the... There's probably levels in the open world that are like that. That are a little bit larger. That's a bit larger arena. But it's not like this weird open world RPG like Doom Dark Ages tries to do. Where now exploration is almost necessary to upgrade your weapons for rubies and gold. Not following bad industry trends is what made Doom 2016 actually successful. Yeah, it's software new. It's like, hey, we're going to keep things like the original Doom, but we're in 2016 now. Okay, it's been 23 years since the original Doom. Let's try something that is still Doom, but in the modern era. Right? We make the graphics better. It's a 3D, movement speed still. Look, I don't even think they're running. Look how good the movement speed is. And the original 2016 Doom. Look at the speed, man. It's so quick. Look at the... Okay, it's just... Oh, my goodness. How to do this. And then you look at this, and it's just... See, sprinting there, by the way. Sprinting to do that. Oh, look at that Halo enemy. Remember the plasma pistol? Where you hold it down, and you shoot it, and it destroys the shield, so then you can melee? Why is Doom copying Halo? I can't... It boggles my mind how things have turned upside down. When the inspired becomes the inspiree or whatever, when the master becomes the apprentice, where I learned from you now, it becomes reversed. Yeah, there's also shields you can just throw your shield at. Mancubus, please do the frickin'... Oh, no, see, you can throw the shield and it keeps him in place, so then you just shoot him. Oh, he doesn't do the Simon Says parry stuff with the Mancubus. Which I think those are what those are called. There's also like sub-bosses where you get upgrades to your health and shield. No, wait. Did this guy die? I forgot what difficulty. He might be playing on Ultra Nightmare, but it doesn't feel like it. Just parry everything. Just parry everything. Just parry the green. Get your little glory... This is kind of like a glory kill. It's more like execution. See, that's... You get upgrades for defeating the sub-bosses. This is... Okay, so there's a mech segment. That straight up out of Pacific Rim. It looks like... what's it called? Gypsy Thunder? What's the... Dude. I can't believe they went Pacific Rim. It's insane. A mech and an on-rail shooter in Doom. If you told Cormac after the success of Doom 1 came out and said, hey, we want to make Doom 2 like an on-rail shooter like Gradius, he'd probably laugh in your face. Okay, Cormac. I'm probably not saying his last name correctly. Carmack, my bad. Carmack. You didn't even correct me, and I knew what the correction was. Carmack, whatever. Sorry. Vowels. What did I say? Don't ask me to pronounce names. Can't read. I'm a video game player. I'm a gamer. John Carmack, yes. Not Cormac. I'm thinking Cormac McCarthy. That's why. I know too many names. Yes, a Neuralink. Guess what? Guess who also... What? Oh, no. Evangelion. This really copies off of Evangelion. Because I don't think Gundam had the Neuralink. Didn't Evangelion have it? had the Neuralink. We're playing Titanfall. Well, this is a specific, like Pacific Rim is the Americanized version, right? Where you can motion and move like that. But I think Evangelion had the Neuralink. One of the mech animes or movies, whatever, had the Neuralink specifically. That if you got your arm chopped off, it affected your real arm. That you couldn't move it. I think Gundam actually might have done that. It's either Listen, there's a lot of mech anime, but you know the progenitors usually Gundam. One of the series of Gundam, right? Pacific Rim, if they ever did anything new with that, fighting the kaiju, which is just more like Gundam, but fighting kaiju, which I'm pretty sure maybe Gundam actually did instead of space politics and fighting other mechs. Or Evangelion. Carmack doesn't give a crap. They only cares about pushing new technologies. I mean, you're talking to a guy that, as you told me, and as I found out to be true, is that he was playing on a 1080p monitor in 1995. I don't blame him, but the problem is things aren't catching up to the technology. What's the point of buying a 4K monitor that could go 60 frames per second on any game, but any modern game you try to play it on, it can't run properly at 60 frames per second because of forced ray tracing or other things they did to the game. It's just not optimized. I still can't believe we're doing a Gundam Evangelion Pacific Rim. Pacific Rim had a game. I played it on the PS Series like a demo. It was actually kind of fun. You know, so did Real Steel for that reference. You know, that was kind of connected by a Neuralink or something like that with Hugh Jackman. And you just run through things. You get to see these little set pieces that you just run through. Bro almost had the crumbling physics of Battlefield 1. Eva does have it where the pilot's nervous state is effectively connected to the unit. I thought Gundam had that too. I know Evangelion has. I'm thinking Gundam had something like that because that's what the inspiration for Evangelion came from. I think was it G Gundam? Burning Finger one. What? I clearly know my anime because we watched it on stream before. And I think when they were battling in the arena, that his arm got chopped off and he couldn't use his arm. That's why he was limp while he was in the mech suit. That's what I'm talking. Yeah, it's just you play as a melee guy, though. You could also wield a giant gun for some reason. It's like, what's the difference of just being Doom Guy then? Right? You could dodge. That's your parry, and this is a dodge. Carmack's priority has always been graphics, game, story. Well, has Carmack made a bad game? That's what you should be quite. It's like, listen, I'm not saying every opinion this guy has is correct, but has he made a bad game? Of his own volition. Okay, it wasn't forced down the throat by his corporation above or whatever. G Gundam only has the entry suits simulate the external damage. Yes, something. Okay, I think a Gundam series has. That's not the point. My point is that it's copying other things for no reason. Rage 2011. Okay, I cannot defend Rage. Okay, he made that by himself without corporate involvement or anything like that. Okay. You say, well, you give this criticism to anyone else? Yeah, I gave it to Todd Howard. I'll give it to not really Rare. I guess with Nuts and Bolts, but I guess Nuts and Bolts was kind of ahead of its time when Breath of the Wild kind of came, or not Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom came out and it just copied elements of that. It was just kind of the wrong game to do it with, I'd say. Yeah, but this is a mech segment. I don't really have much else to say about it. It's a mech segment where you punch until that meter gets all the way full and then you do a glory kill or an execution. That's it. I mean, at least Rage has an aesthetic to it. Dude, there was a video idea that I wanted to do, right? It was called the screenshot methodology. That some games are so iconic with their art direction that you could screenshot usually one scene of the outside world and know where it came from. Skyrim is a great example. You could take a screenshot of Skyrim in the open world and know it's from Skyrim. You could take a screenshot of Oblivion and know it's from Oblivion. Right? But it would obviously have to be with people that know what those games are. Or haven't played. I'd rather do a test where it's people that haven't played for like 5 to 10 years. A very long time. There's also screenshots that are funny. Yeah, but my point is that it's being able to recognize something through its art or design. Not necessarily because it's good or bad. That's not my argument. Hyrule Field. Another example. You could... Dude, well, actually... You probably might get Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask confused. It really depends on what screenshot you go for. But Nintendo fans are pretty, they kind of hold grudges about things, so they'll remember most things. They can be attentive about some things. Especially when both those games are considered masterpieces. They're obviously going to remember what screenshots that's from. But that's my point. You can point like you could do multiple, but I do the overworld for example, right, to know exactly where it's from. And then I'd show newer game examples, and you say, well, I know where this is from, but it's clear that it's more realistic and not really a great art design in comparison to these older games that clearly relied more on art design than graphics. Right? Why is the foliage brighter here? Why is the shading different there? What is baked in lighting for this, Like, I could take a picture of Kirby, and you would know it's from Kirby, right? Borderlands, you would know it's from Borderlands 2 because of its art design. Easily. Now, which one is the question? Is it Rage basically Borderlands but boring? Yeah, they just didn't know what to do with the gameplay and gameplay loop with the Rage. Like, it has a decent aesthetic for what it is, but it's not like outstanding enough to take it apart from anything else around it. Especially 2011 also had Uncharted 3, Skyrim, and I think Dark Souls. Okay, you got it. Well, New Vegas came out the year before. Okay, Borderlands 2 was around there, and it's just like, dude, it's going to be hard competing. That's all I'm saying. What about Call of Duty 2? You might be able to, but like I said, it really depends. That's why I said, look at this is Gypsy Danger. This dude looks like, okay, I'll show you what Gypsy Danger looks like. Obviously, Gypsy Danger didn't have the horns. I can't believe I remember Pacific Rim. I haven't seen this movie in, a decade? Oh, my God. What? I shouldn't remember freaking Pacific Rim. Of all things, I should not remember Pacific Rim. But I do. Okay, listen, I know that this is kind of like I would say a guilty pleasure, not the fact that I like Pacific Rim, but Pacific Rim X Godzilla. Okay, you see this is King Novik's armor or mech, right? This is Gypsy Danger. Okay, similar red, yellow visor choice, but obviously if Gypsy Danger had a crown, it'd make it a little bit easier, but they showed which is kind of dumb, because if that's a weak point, why the hell would you put the weak point on the front of the chest? This looks like a video game boss from the PS3 era. Where it shows its weak spot. Like, actually, Resident Evil 4 does that with the eyes, so technically that was PS2 as well, but it shows like that. Why does he look like a Power Ranger? Because that's what it's based... Well, not necessarily all of it, but that's what there was kind of like... What's the dude's name? Why do I keep forgetting the guy, Power Ranger guy? Why do I forget his name? We've talked about it, and it's not coming to my mind right now. His Power Rangers, his specific... If you mean that specific guy's Power Rangers, and not Sentai Warriors or whatever, Yeah, but that's my point, is that now Gypsy Danger... I can't believe I'm referencing Gypsy Danger in 2025 in a Doom game! Are you out of your mind? Did Doom Eternal have a mech? I don't know. If they did, you're starting to question whether is it Doom anymore, or is it another game? Right? When you're starting to add things that other games already done and probably did it better, or other anime and movies, like, is it... I don't know. It feels less badass and it feels forced, like this. Oh, no, he looks like Reinhardt. Oh, my God. Oh, dude, no way. No way I'm going to make this comparison. No way. He looks like Reinhardt from Overwatch. Oh, no. Oh, my God. I just realized that. He's Reinhardt from Overwatch. It's over. It's flipping over, dude. You stole an Overwatch design, man. Or not stole, but copied. Dude, you've got to be kidding me. No way. No way, man. Look at this. No way. No way. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. Oh, no. Wait a minute. Dude. Wait a minute. Reinhardt, the tank from Overwatch. Oh, dude, you got to be kidding me. Even has the yellow and gray aesthetic. Oh, dude, are you out of your mind? Someone must have liked Overwatch id Software, man. Woo! But Overwatch basically stole their design from Street Fighter, League of Legends. Remember when I said copy of a copy of a copy? Okay, moving on. Well, I don't know. Let's see. What else is there to talk about the game? Not really much else. You got different enemy variety. You got the Hell Knights. But it's just mostly parrying. So if you just do the same thing, then it's not saying it's completely bad, but if you just parry most things, it kind of negates the gameplay loop with Doom, which was shooting and dodging. If you now rely on parrying everything, it stops the gameplay loop from being fun. I mean, look at Dark Souls, right? Parrying everything slows the game down because reposting takes time because of the animation. You know what I mean? That's why I use a great sword, because it cleaves through enemies and I don't have to worry about it. Because some of the thing with Dark Souls is that the smaller enemies are more of a pain than the bosses are at times. I've been playing through Dark Souls 2 a little bit as well, by the way. I'll say it. He chainsaw looked like a chainsaw from Quake 2. From a better game. See, notice how it shows you where the life is? This is clearly a secret. He's going to go around. Just look at the map, dude. Just look at the map. Just look at the map. It tells you on the map. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Moving on. Did he actually go get the secret? See, there, you could see the secret. I'm pretty sure that's a secret area or it leads to one. Hold on. Notice how it just showed it on the... It showed it on... You didn't have to see the map. You see it on the overworld. And you go up. Oh, I think it's marked. No, that's actually the objective. I think this was the room with the life sigil. Yeah, this is a secret room, by the way. Also, there was chests there for some reason, and you can't open it. It's like, what? Why did you have a model of a chest then? What is this? Dark Souls? Breakable environments? Just for the sake of breakable environments or for ambiance, whatever? See, you found that room, and it's supposed to be a secret room, but they have 3 of 3 sigils, so there's no point. Congrats of getting out of that room. I guess kind of what... technically, I don't think it was considered a secret. But at the top right, you have lives, excuse me, gold, and then rubies, and then it'll be like wraith stones or whatever to upgrade. Wait a minute, he played for 12 hours? Is that it? Dude, this game had like 22 chapters. Are you blazing through this on easy? Obviously, if you're on Ultra Nightmare, it's going to be a little bit longer. But oh, you notice there's a flail there too? Yes, and there's bosses which you shoot. They have gimmicks like, parrying. And big shields that you could actually block. Look, green shield you could parry. You love Dance Dance Revolution. Or not Dance Dance Revolution. You like Guitar Hero. You like any of those rhythm games. It's just a rhythm game now. And people get... There's a sort of a... I wouldn't say it's necessarily a popularity take, but a fatigue of parry and block. People love that slop. I don't like it forever. I get it for Dark Souls, but having it in every game possible is like, whoa, okay, man. Are we regressing to cover mechanics with Doom? Yes. Well, the shield is a cover. It's already there, and they made the whole thing around it. Also, like I said, the flail. You get a flail. See, you had to know it's medieval by having one medieval weapon that I'd argue doesn't even make any sense when you have a super shotgun, a shield that is a chainsaw, or a saw blade, excuse me. See what I'm saying? Like, they don't understand what aesthetic means. Having a flail is a medieval aesthetic, yes, because flails were around during medieval times. But placing it in a game like this where you have super shotguns and all this crazy stuff that is sci-fi doesn't mesh well. Right? Unless it's to prove the point, or there needs to have a purpose to it besides just, it's a melee thing because it's a prequel. It's the medieval times. Look, swampland! And these crazy sci-fi buildings. Okay, sure. Sure, I believe you. Also, the commander chick also is like a... I would say a plot. I think she's like a plot device. She has like powers that can upgrade the shield. She sticks her arm on one thing, and she upgrades your shield for you by having like a blue drop in the industrial forge or whatever. Yeah, but this is the gameplay loop. It's just block, hit, block, hit. Like, this isn't Dark Souls. Stop making everything Dark Souls. Stop making everything... Or Skyrim. Skyrim, same way. Not saying... Well, I would say Skyrim's parry slot, but it is kind of block, or you just go full magic and just cook everyone from a distance. Or no, stealth archering was the problem with Skyrim, where stealthing number 1 is too good, and archering 2 is too good. And combining them together is ridiculous. Dang it, I thought he fought a Mancubus that actually showed what I was talking about with the Guitar Hero type thing. He's just cooking them too quickly. He's shredding that. Oh, there it is. All right, so maybe that's not a Mancubus. No, the Mancubus, that's a Mancubus, right? They have shield. Did you notice this? All you do is move. This is strafing, right? Honestly, the guy might be brain rotted by the game. Well, I'm not saying the person playing is exactly good. My point is just to show off things in the game. So the lady is like the same lady who helps you in Rayman 1. I know this sound like I'm crapping on the game, but I'm not. I'm trying to make sense of things. No. Batilla the Fairy is just there to give you power-ups. And it's supposed... Because the powers... I didn't say this in the video. The powers are supposed to feel like a reward for making it through the level. But it negates that because you have to backtrack with those powers. Right? And by the time you're getting through this difficult game, you don't want to go back and replay it. Even when it's mandatory. Because of how difficult it makes things without those powers. Okay? And I was going to talk about that Spyro the Dragon. right? Because Spyro the Dragon, what does it do? That's another video I got to make. Spyro the Dragon gives all the powers immediately. You have the power to, first of all, jump. You have the power to glide. You have the power to head bash. Or I should say charge. I wouldn't say head bash. Head bash is a specific ability in Spyro 2. Right? And glide. It's already all available to you. You have all the tools necessary. Go do it. Rayman tries to take this approach where they don't know where to place the powers. Like I said, 3 powers are in the first world. There's 5 worlds besides the King Chateau, which isn't really a world. It's a level. It's a sub-level, even though technically it's a different world, right? Why wouldn't you just give me all the powers at the beginning at that point? At that point, the way they did it. Like I said, sometimes it work. I said Metroid, right? Metroid in the video. It's not a contradiction. It's just this powers are not spaced out enough to feel like they're rewarding, and having a game that constantly backtracks all the time to be necessary to beat the boss or fight the boss. Mr. Dark, I didn't show it on the screen. Mr. Dark tells you to go back and go collect all the Pro Tunes. Straight up will do that, if I remember correctly, on the PlayStation version. I don't know if he does it on Atari Jaguar or Sega Saturn, but yeah, they're a requirement. Also, look at this. Look at this Guitar Hero ass looking gameplay. Are you for real? What? Is this Doom? Look at this. Okay, look at this and tell me this is what you would think this would turn, or Doom would turn into. I'm not saying Doom Guy can't have a shield, but the gameplay of Doom is the shooting and the movement, the ripping and the tearing. You mess with the rip, you mess with the tear. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Just, look at the original Doom, right? Fast gameplay. Moving left and right. Got to dodge projectiles, because that's how Doom was. You have to dodge bullets, right? Which is funny, because in on-rail shooters, kind of like Gradius is like that, right? But this is a first-person shooter. Okay, Gradius is also kind of the same concept I'm trying to relate to. Is like, it moves and you shoot. That's the point of Gradius. And your movement has to feel good in order to want to play it. It feels like trash, or you're not going to want to play it. Like I said, with Rayman, the issue was the gameplay's too hard, especially for a kid. It was very clear that adults played this and thought kids could do the same. If you notice how many lives I lost at the boss fight, dude, without having to look up anything about the game back in 1995, unless even the manual wouldn't tell you everything. And I don't know if it was a Nintendo Power or a magazine, you'd be cooked. That's why I had to use passwords to show you, because it's just a slog to get through. And that's one of my main criticisms of Rayman 1. That's a game I pretty much close to love. It's a pretty good game, but man, is there some flaws to it. Notice how these are just like dialogue sections that tell you the lore and you move on? Well, you did lose a lot of lives on the instrument world. Yeah, because I said that that was another criticism, is that the gameplay difficulty gets bumped. And it's insane, because you're introduced to a lot of new things very quickly. And I mentioned that in the review. The ability to you already slide as soon as you get into the level, which is kind of crazy, because it already tells you what it does, which is somehow smart, because it tells you what the game level is going to be like also throughout this level. It's sliding, right? That's why it automatically slides you back, so you know. So you're not just jumped in and then you move and you're like, oh. But it's also not like, it's like an ice level, but it's not ice, which is also very fascinating, because you don't see that in platformers, right? Very often. Sonic can just roll down a hill. Okay, that's not the same thing as being on an ice level, right? Or Mario will have an ability that allows him to slide. It's just natural to that level to have Rayman slide on these things and use that momentum to carry him through the level. That's actually a Sonic idea, if anything, but Sonic has to roll up in a ball. Or no, he can run fast, to be fair. But that's not... Well, yeah, I guess that's the point I'm making, is that he can run fast and go down stuff, but obviously you go in a ball if you want to make sure you don't run into an enemy and hits you and stuff like that. To be fair, the simplified gameplay loop of shoot and kill was a result of it working with the limitation. That's what I brought up too, is that they were limited by the things that they were working with at the time. Even with Carmack's amazing 1080p monitor, doesn't mean everything you can do on that monitor is going to be amazing. That's actually, hey, you know what? That's the problem with technology now that I referenced. Hey, we have these amazing, we can get like 8K monitors or whatever. Can't play anything on them at a proper frame rate. I mean, you can watch movies, cool. But I want to play games. You know, and I wouldn't say every movie's upscaled to 8K either properly. Not everyone has the proper millimeter film or whatever. Mega Man has a slide starting to... Yeah, but it doesn't... You don't automatically slide when you jump on something. You have to press a button to slide. Rayman, in that level, it's automatic. Also, this is a decent transition. And you know how it's quick, snappy? Doom the Dark Ages takes forever. Hey, it's id Software Bethesda Doom. Let's go. Go. Like speed. It's all about speed. See, and these are the open arena worlds I was talking about with original Doom 2016. I don't want to say original. I should say Doom 2016. Look at this! Oh my god, they removed this! Oh my god. Look at this, this is you! And you can, excuse me, you choose the upgrades. They don't have that. Well, no, they do have it, but it's not an armor upgrade. You upgrade your weapons in this. And I think the excuse would be it's prehistoric, right? Or it's a prequel, so they didn't have that back then. Even though they got shrines, which are literally there to upgrade your weapons. I kind of wish they went into the shrine so I could see if they're going to upgrade anything. Wait, he showed the map, right? Oh, hold on. Wait a minute, I want to see. You see how there's grayed out areas? It's where you haven't been. They also check mark if you got things. That's gold, by the way. It just tells you on the map that that's gold. Also, Doom was made in about 11 months by like 12 guys. Dude, look up how the Crash Bandicoot development time. They were made one a year. 96, 97, 98. You know how insane that is on a new console? SNES was already established back then. 3DO, I don't know. Actually, I don't remember when the 3DO came out. I'm just saying, like, Crash Bandicoot was like how? Yep, that's the race stones they used to upgrade your stuff. Also, that was a secret area, I think. Maybe? Yeah, see, it shows you on the map. If it just shows you that area of the map, then it automatically reveals the secret. 93, 94 for 3DO. Okay. So they already were given the console to work on it, right? Obviously. So how you release something you don't even know you're playing on? I give her that Oblivion stuff. Okay, so that's basically the game. The story, I wouldn't say is the best either. It's just they're trying to stop a faction, these hell demon guys, from trying to take over the world. Nothing. I mean, that doesn't sound fancy, but most of the cutscenes are, I think they're just too long. I don't know. Are they necessary? I know. I'm skipping through. It's like, well, where's the cutscenes? I don't know if this person skipped them or not. So I'm pretty sure there was more than this. This guy is like cooking through these levels. Okay, he was like going way too quickly. This is way too easy, whatever they have him on. Look at this. This shows the toy collectible right on the map, which is supposed to be a secret. 11 secrets on a map? We're not even halfway through the game. This is a quarter at 11. Holy hell. Remember when these were rare? That's the whole point of Doom 1. Is that it's an Easter egg. There we go. I think that's the whole purpose I want to differentiate. Some of it was secrets, to be fair. Okay? Most of them were secrets, but like the developer guy's head on a pike was an Easter egg. Right? And there's Easter eggs in Doom as well as secrets. This just goes like full blown. They're toys that you collect in this game. They're Funko Pops. Literally Funko Pops. Look at that. It's a Funko Pop. Essentially a Funko Pop adjacent. Are you trying to sell merch? Look at that. Look, this is what the secret looks like. You couldn't even put the model on the thing or on a pedestal or something. You walk up to it, you get the thing. Congratulations. Yo, man, what's up, King Isaac? That's it. Great. Good stuff. Little toy. Okay, why do I care? I'm not a Funko Pop Redditor. Come on, man. Like, what? John Romero's head on a pike in Doom 2 was a layered gag. Yeah, but Easter egg, gag, whatever you'd like to call it. It was a bonus thing. It wasn't necessarily a secret. It was a bonus. I like to call it. Wasn't that the case with the N64? Most of Nintendo's internal developers were working if the specs of the SGI machines because the system wasn't finalized. Probably more likely, and it was what? Well, no, wasn't it also because of the cartridges? Where it kind of... There's a reason why a lot of PlayStation games went to Nintendo, if I remember correctly. It was also because they probably wouldn't be able to be put on the cartridge. I don't know. I'm trying to remember. That or Nintendo did have a pretty big stranglehold on who they wanted to work on their consoles. Okay, that's why most of the more popular Nintendo 64 games are from franchises that were already around, well established. Obviously, Kirby. That's the first one I say. Kirby, Mario. You got Castlevania on there. Was Doom on the SNES? I can't remember. Doom was on a lot of things. Doom's on your calculator, as we joke about. But it was already not reestablished. Well, you're reestablishing by making sequels and sequel adjacents. Yeah, Doom was on the SNES. That's my point. It was things that were already established getting sequels. Or sequel adjacents, or a spin-off, whatever you like to call it. With the Nintendo 64. And everything just had 64 on it. Pilot Wings was already an established franchise. if you want to call it a franchise at that point. But yeah, that's basically Doom the Dark Age. I didn't know if any. This is a $70 game, by the way. I would not buy this at full price. That's all I. Also, there's segments where you have to destroy minions in order to destroy the leader. Great, cool stuff. Don't care. Don't know why you did that. You just wasted more time. Even when it's easy, like what? What? Okay, we're doing. That's just the writing segment, but now on the ground. This is terrible. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. The red scratch mark, or not red, the yellow scratch marks, or yellow orange tint kind of makes me laugh because that's like one of the epitomes of modern gaming is putting yellow paint on everything because gamers are too dumb to find things. Even when there's an objective marker right up there to show you how to get up something. As if the previous game didn't already establish. We didn't look a lot at Doom Eternal, for example. It's more in comparison to 2016, but I'm pretty sure these are all in-game cutscenes. Right? After the end of Doom 2016, he's go. Look at that. Look at that. That's such a. But it's a decent setup, though, right? Right, and it's supposed to mimic Doom 2, right? Where you go to Earth this time, because what? Doom 1's on Mars, right? And then Doom 2's on Earth, if I remember correctly, or vice versa. That's what this tries to mimic. No kidding. But its own way. Okay, so look. Oh, no. God, Doom 2016 had soul. This is insanely orange, but that's supposed to be Mars. I think this is supposed to be Earth, right? I think some people had some criticisms of Doom Eternal's gameplay loop about trying to force you into playing a certain style instead of just Doom. Oh, watch a gameplay trailer. I thought you were actually playing it. No, I'm not spending $70 on this. Okay, this is $70 I'm not spending. First of all, none of the either. That's not how you speak. None of the other Doom games are even on sale right now. That was why, hey, you know what I said was a big brain move? Hey, Bethesda id Software, a week before your game gets released, maybe put your old games on sale so people can try to catch up to the new game if they want to. But to be fair, the game's been on sale. You can go to Steam charts and they'll show that Humble Bundle, GOG, whatever. Okay, I think Doom 2016 was $2 at one point. So to be fair, I gotta stop saying to be fair. To be honest, to be fair, to be equivalent to my criticisms of it to myself, is that I could have bought it sooner than that, right? But this is just to reinvigorate people to play it again. There's the reason the full title is Doom 2 Hell on Earth, right? I'm trying to get it right, just making sure. White cloth paint is already trying to replace yellow paint. That's correct. Remember how you could play like Jack and Daxter and just jump on something? A Ratchet Clank, you could just jump. Well, to be fair, Ratchet Clank had, when the grappling hook was introduced, that was like bright green, but it's a grappling hook. I'm not going to be mad when it's, if there was yellow paint on the grappling hook, I'd lose my mind. That'd actually be hilarious. Uncharted 2 did it. Like the PS3 era is where it started happening. Do you remember Jack the Jazz Rabbit? I could see it in my mind, but I never played it. Like I wasn't like the biggest platformer guy. I played PlayStation and then PS2 games for the most part. Right, like I said, I didn't own every console in the world. Everything I had was a hand-me-down. I didn't get the PS2 until years later. I didn't get not like so many, like a couple years later when it was on sale, or I got it from a hand-me-down from a cousin because the cousin didn't want anymore. You know what I mean? But yeah, I remember Jazz Jackrabbit. Yeah, I remember the concept of the art or whatever. I mixed the name. Same. I do the same thing. But even Doom Eternal has a clear aesthetic that it tries to establish that's still Doom. At least to the degree of what it looks like. Still have glory kills, too. A chainsaw is interesting. Wait, did they just teleport you to a tutorial room? Really? That's crazy. Why would you do that? What? Doom Eternal did this? What? Does this game do that? Wait a minute. Wait a minute, you got a new gun in this game. You just shoot the thing. They just tell you on the screen to shoot the thing. Why do you need to teleport to a different room? My voice? Inflection? Why would you need to teleport to a different room to show off the weapon? Why wouldn't you just put the... That feels... See, what I'm talking about redundant or putting too much in that's not necessary. This isn't necessary. Whatever this is, all you needed to do was literally go forward and then pull. You can have the pop-up window. I'm fine with that. To let them know, hey, this is what it does. Because it didn't look like he chose to go to the tutorial screen and just threw you in there. If you're just going to have this anyways, there's no point in the tutorial room. Also, yellow paint! It feels out of place, too. But it might have a lore reason. I don't know. Ooh, that doesn't look too good. Those guys don't look that great. Ooh. But this game actually, was optimized. This game could run pretty well for the most part. You can run this at 4K like a dream. You can't run that on Doom the Dark Ages because they force ray tracing. See, what? Wait a minute. You showed the double jump here. And it's funny because they had the old mechanics of hitting a block. I'm pretty sure Crowcats might make a video about this, but we'll see. Notice how they had a shield mark that's green in Doom the Dark Ages. But in this game, you just melee it. In the other game, that you just throw the shield at it now. And it does the same thing. Why didn't they just do this? Well, they do it with the double jump. Do you have a double jump in Doom Dark Ages? It might be a single jump now. But notice how they're trying to give you movement abilities. Like jumping. I'm surprised there isn't an air dash in Doom. But I don't know if that's really Doom. You know. Actually, kind of, I don't know. Guys, what's your opinion about having a jetpack in Doom? Or better yet, a boost pack. Not a jetpack itself, but a boost pack. Right? Where you could dodge in midair while you're shooting. Is that in Doom? I don't know if that's in Doom. All right, where you do your double jump, and then you could dash forward with a jetpack. Kind of like Dante when in Trickster, he could dash forward. Jumping in Doom. I know, that's a crazy concept, too! It's just running and shooting. You just run up ramps in Doom, right? You don't need to jump. What are you talking about? Interesting. You had weapon mods and everything. Okay. Things that, breakable doors. And notice funny, it's just like a quick side thing. Doom Eternal does have dash. I meant an air dash specifically. Not a land dash, an air dash, Roberto. Does it have an air dash? That's why I said a jetpack add-on. Right? And you can upgrade the jetpack to where it can either jump higher or go dash farther. It does? Is that the same thing? Okay, I should have specified air dash, but I did say jetpack. Okay? And I'm thinking of what game does it with a jetpack? I can't. Well, Halo has a jetpack. But air dash. What is this, Marvel? No, I'm just saying like a boost pack or something. Right? And it kind of makes, I don't know, it might be pushing it. It works in the air? Oh, okay, then never mind. If it works in the air, then that's my whole point. Because I'm just showing the gameplay between Dark Ages, Doom Eternal, and Doom, where you can see how fast the movement is without even running. And the glory kills and all that stuff. It feels good. You know? Oh my goodness, that's great. That's why I played Doom 1. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And then you look at Doom 2016 and see how quick things are zooming. Well, this isn't that fast, but okay, it's still pretty quick. And then you look at Doom the Dark Age, just like, there's a climbing animation too instead of just like a super jump. I don't know. This just doesn't feel fast, and you're blocking everything like a frippin' Guitar Hero. Whoa, yeah. And you melee to get shield and stuff like that. That's the for. But it has a cooldown. Melee has a cooldown in this game. As far as I remember, Doom 2016 has an air dash. That's crazy. Dude, we're playing Devil May Cry first person. Trickster? Doom is a lost Dante brother? That's like some dumb game theory video. Parody video. I'm not saying this person's the best at Doom, but you could still see that it moves quick. Right? And you want to melee things. I can't say the same thing in Doom the Dark Ages. Besides you get a dash with the shield, right? But it's with the shield. You have to dash with the shield. If you noticed. But see, you're just deflecting projectile. See, the problem is, I feel like it's like social engineering, right? It's like I said with Dark Souls. Okay? Dark Souls gives you like armor stuff and all that. Oh, well, it depends on what class you play. But imagine if Dark Souls just gave you a shield, right, from the get-go. Instead of you choosing it, you probably would have the instinct to use it because it's given to you, right? I feel like that's what happened in this game, that you're like socially engineered to constantly rely on the shield too much. Simply because it's given to you now. They're trying to engineer you to not play in a fun, interesting way. Instead, it's throwing the shield, bashing with the shield, parrying and blocking with the shield. Doom Dark Ages is the bad part of Eternal, but somehow made slower. Yes! Yes! I don't know why they made the game slow. Damn! Holy hell. You know, Devil May Cry is an interesting comparison, too. Because Devil May Cry has secrets and stuff you could look around in, which is kind of like This game does the same thing where it's just like a huge overworld map where you have to go find secrets, and it's like, what? Do the Dark Ages feature yeah, from DMC 5 specifically, obviously. I don't think they try to go like, okay, we're gonna up-res DMC 1. It's a remake. DMC 1 remake. All right. But it's like constantly blocking everything. You know what? The difficulty of Doom came from also dodging projectiles. Putting a shield, Duke playing a gotcha game. Genshin Impact. Dude, I heard Infinity Nikki, they messed up their story or whatever. There was some backlash against that, but DMC was made by Capcom, not a mid AAA studio. Dang, man, are you id Software falling that far? To be fair, it's published by Bethesda Software, because if that means anything. I think in Steam, if you click id Software, it just goes straight to Bethesda Software, because it's like, what? Man, what are you doing? But everything just feels too slow. Janky. Constant reliance on the shield instead of movement. Right? That's the key to Doom is movement. You feel too much like a clunky bastard. Like, and I compared this before. Halo understood that even though you're like half a ton, there's decent movement to it. It's not the greatest. It's not Doom levels. You know, but you don't feel like a slow plodding elephant. Okay? You have better movement than that. Like, look, dude, it's just even walking, the base movement speed's good. And I know they have sliders to turn it up, but that's lazy. Developers just make it normal. You don't need sliders if you just put it in the game and develop it. Instead of relying on the player to make the fun for themselves. What is it? It feels like sliders in this game just feel like mods. Oh, the game's terrible. We got to make mods to put in to make it more fun. Lazy. But DMC 1 started as a salvage job for one of the... How many stories is that like that? Going to start Tony Hardgrave or whatever. It's Tony Redgrave. Why do you think Vangood's named the way it is? So it's a pseudo-anagram of Tony Redgrave. That's why I said Terry Vangood, Tony Redgrave. It's pseudo because there's too many R's. I think. No, is it too many R's? Wait a minute. No, it's too many O's. My bad. Yeah, Tony Redgrave. Yeah, my bad. It's too many O's. Not too many R's. It's too many O's. But anyways, even Doom Eternal try to keep the speed at least up. Oh man, it's just insane. See, the cutscenes are not cutscenes. They're not cutscenes. They're lore dumps, kind of like Portal 2 does, right? Portal 2 does that where they like stop a thing and you see a thing like GLaDOS talking or the other guy, the blue eye guy. I can't remember the flipping name of it. It's in game. Oh shoot! Wait, there's a pre-rendered cutscene. Was that a pre-rendered cut? No, it's No, it's not. Whoa, they show you the map of the level before you even go. Dude, what? This feels like a totally different game. Are you serious? Whitley, yes. Wheatley. Yeah, Wheatley. Okami, Demento, Haunting Ground, technically Onimusha and DMC were all birthed from RE4's messy development. That's a good thing. I can't say the same thing happens now. I don't know what else to say about this game. I just think id Software went in the wrong direction. Dude, how slow are you swimming? Oh my god. They had to put... Didn't Metroid Prime have better swimming than this? Oh my goodness, did you see how slow that was? Wait a minute, did it just spawn him in? Oh my god, we have a transition scene like Borderlands 2? Whiteley, not Wheatley? Is it Whiteley? I thought it was Wheatley. Because he's British or whatever. Maybe I'm wrong. Listen, I could... Is this a Borderlands 2 transition scene when you die and then get recombined? Oh, that looked bad. Oh, that rock looks... Oh, my God, that rock... Forced ray tracing, by the way. Forced ray tracing. Forced TAA. Oh, my... Dude. This rock looks horrendous. I know Doom isn't necessarily known for having the best graphics, but holy hell. PS3, look at me. Dude, that is... I'm saying PS2 even. Or better yet, Dark Souls 1. Which is a PS3 game, Xbox 360, but Dark Souls 1 is not known for having good graphics. Good lighting in some cases, but not good graphics. Good art design, maybe. And even shading, but not necessarily the best graphics, okay? Look how slow you move. Oh my god, why? I don't even think this is a nitpick. Like, Doom guys should not feel like a brick. You shouldn't feel like you have concrete shoes while moving. Are you insane? We don't want that form of realism because even then it probably wouldn't be realistic. You know, that's why I say, because that's why I argue Spartan. You know, they're buffed, like they're physically enhanced to be able to handle the suit and move and jump super far, hit further, dash, whatever. This just feels like a slog to get through. It's like walking through a swamp, running through a swamp. No way the swimming's this slow. Please sprint underwater. Please use the sprint button underwater. Okay, that's not so bad now. That's better. That was really slow in the beginning. I think that was just because they wanted to do the transition scene. Okay, this is better, but is it happening because they're moving that fast? Nope, it's because the tunnel brought them that fast. No, wait. It feels weird because it's like the tunnel's moving quick, but then it doesn't. Spartans are over 7 feet tall, too. I know. I said Halo clearly was somewhat inspired by Doom in some form or fashion, right? I'm not saying it's a one-to-one app comparison, but there's clearly inspiration there. But now Doom tries to be Halo in the wrong way. Okay, I don't know if I have anything more to say about Dark Ages. It's a mid-game, and I think it might be a bad Doom game. A bad Doom game as well. I think we're losing what it meant to be Doom, and I even showed examples. Okay, we're moving on to Superman official trailer, okay? I haven't seen this yet. I don't think I could play. I got captions on. I'm going to mute this because of copyright, because I did the same thing with the trailer. Are we being serious right now? I don't know. This. Ooh, God, is this in 1440p? Oh, yeah, I get to see the good graphics. You guys see in 1080, haha. I see in 1440p. Because YouTube still won't let you stream out higher than 1080p, I don't think. Doom 2016 is replayable. Eternal felt like a game that's about to soft lock at the halfway point. If you don't play the exact way the developers want you to play, Dark Ages feels like that for the whole game. I know. I don't feel like Dark Ages has replayability. I can still see it at 144p, and I'm happy. That's right. Yeah, that's what's super. I can see the pores on the skin. Can you? My ancestors can see the pores on my skin, Imperial. Can you? My ancestors can see in 4K. You're saying the same. So that's Lois Lane. Doesn't feel like the aesthetic of the time period they're trying to create either, right? Because you would just put this on a smartphone, right? This looks too new. And it's not because of in 1440p, but the aesthetic's not there. This doesn't look like a room from whatever year this is supposed to take place. This is what I'm talking about in terms of aesthetic and art design, right? You could tell something, the era it's in, based on what is happening, what has been placed. I can't. Is this the new era or the old era just because you have lamps in a room? Which, an unnecessary amount of lamps, arguably. It looks like goth. It looks like a discount iPhone. I think it's one of those tape recorders that people use. It looks like a pager. I don't know what this is. I don't know if news reporters use this. Maybe they did. James Gunn knows something I don't. What is this? Why is there music on this? What? Could they not get a rights to an iPad? Because this is clearly a real device, but they changed the logo. Or is that real? What is this thing? But there's music you could play on it. That's got to be like 2000s. There's no way that... Is that 90-something? That looks too... Okay. Her outfit is... It's weird. I think it's like Zoomerish. I don't know. It feels like liberal woman art student. Right? College liberal art student. Hippie. It looks like the 60s and 2025 at the same time. I don't know what... Yeah, but it looks weird. Like, I don't know, man. Because we're trying to understand what year this is. Oh, what the... Wait a minute. Did you just see those headphones in the background? Did you just see those modern headphones in the background? What are these? What is this? Can you see my cursor, by the way? Hold on a second. Yeah, you can see it, right? Oh, the screen's too big. Because I put it in full screen because I'm a moron. Okay. I'm a bit moronic. Okay. Can you see my cursor? What are the headphones? What? What year is this? I don't know. Is it modern or old? Or is it Lois just being old-fashioned because she's a hipster? I don't know. Maybe I'm too dumb. Maybe because I'm even reading the captions. I'm like, you mentioned Walter Cronkite, so it has to be past Vietnam, right? Because that's where Walter Cronkite was best known for. Hold on, I can't see it. I know, I got it right here. It's catching up. Wait. Yeah, it should be right here. Look at these modern headphones. If these are headphones. Okay, I might be blind, but those look like over-ear 20-something headphones. Those are speakers, not headphones. This? What? This? Are you sure? It looks blurry. It doesn't. They look like white headphones. If they're speakers, they're speakers. But like that looks way too new. It could be. This looks way too new. But I guess it's... Well, did Metropolis look new? This is a funny scene coming. Dude, James Gunn, please. James Gunn, please. No way you decide to say, let's put an old guy throw a can at Superman full well knowing he won't feel it. You mean the water pipe on the bookshelf? No. Do you see my cursor on the screen? There is a pair of white headphones in the back right corner. Oh. Ugh. He hit the Pentagon! Yeah, the Pentagon's going to look into Superman's actions. Oh, my goodness. Are they doing that one story where Superman... What is it? I think Alex Ross made the art for it. I think I remember reading it. It was where Superman actually tried helping the world, but the world still ended up going to crap despite that Superman was trying to help it. Because humans was inherently... It's kind of pessimistic to a degree, but it's inherently show that mankind is naturally combative and confrontational. They always want something else. They always want to try to start wars. You mean Superman in World War II? No, there's a Superman story where he tries to help the world, like Africa, where he was trying to give materials and stuff, and always something bad would happen when he tried doing it as well. There's always a side effect. Can't remember what that story was called. I think it had Alex Ross art. This is not... He redshirted Walter Cronkite. Look at these Humvees. That tank is super futuristic. Oh, this might be based on that same story, because I think he was stopping a war over there, too. I'm trying to remember. This has good saturation, by the way. It's like, I look at Doom, Dark Ages, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then you look at this, like, damn, that's bright. Damn, that's a tree. That looks like a real tree. Yes, hi-fi speakers for the 80s and 90s from the foam cover looked like that. I'm just saying it wasn't really white, though, was it? Was it mostly black speakers? Oh, we could slow it down, too. United States English. Good one. Let's put this 0.25 real quick. It looked like his face was CGI on. This looks like a weird filter is on it, too. Like not a gloss, but... Notice how her face, this chick's face right here, is blurry? What? This is an interesting perspective in terms of using camera. Why isn't the whole room in focus? I guess they're trying to point to Lois Lane as being the focus here because she's the reporter, she's the Superman love interest. I get that. But I think we already would have known that by costume design. You made everyone else colorful but Lois Lane. And frame for frame by YouTube. That's right. That's right. I forgot about that. Roland told me, or yes, Daddy Bezos told me. There's also like a film grain on this. I don't know if it's my monitor. There's film grain on this. Oops. I think that is based on that comic, though. Yeah, but shouldn't know who Clark Kent as Superman is what I'm saying. Oh, my God. Oh, my goodness. This... Okay. Remember when Lex Luthor was just a twig boy? That's my biggest issue is that's the villain. That's Lex Luthor, I'm pretty sure. It might be misdirection, but James Gunn, dude. Did you not watch the 90s animated cartoon Superman? That was voiced by Lex Luthor, voiced by Clancy Brown. Why are we having like twink boys be Lex Luthor? Dude, Lex Luthor, there is multiple movies. I remember there was All-Star Superman, there is a scene where Lex Luthor is exercising. Okay, he's not a twig boy, man. You know why Lex Luthor does that? Even though he's intelligent, obviously, and he tries to outsmart Superman. He's still jealous of Superman. He still tries to physically look better than Superman, even if Superman's stronger. Did you forget that? Don't forget about the anime cartoons. Yes, the 90s one. One of the best. Very good animated cartoon. I actually kind of want to do a video about that too, but that's not necessarily gaming related. But it's just to show that I might do that on the other channel, but I'll probably forget. It was just to show that I was going to title it "Kids Shows Were Meant to Be Dumb" in quotation marks. That people say that kids shows, you know, not ad hominem, the straw man, that they misrepresent the argument that kids shows could be deep, right? Have more meaning than what was What they didn't have in before. Nerd emoji Lex Luthor. Yeah, I don't know why he's a twig boy. Bruce Timm said his Luthor was inspired by the Telly's Salvalis. But Lex Luthor like built mech suits and stuff like that is to look larger than Superman. The main feature of Lex Luthor is that he's jealous of Superman. Did you forget about jealousy? You know what I mean? That this guy could just do whatever he wants. He could save the city. You know, he's universally loved compared to Lex Luthor, who's hated. And, Lex Luthor known for his sidekicks? I'm not saying he never had any, but he used other supervillains to his whim. That was kind of the point. It's Ultraman. The toy's already spoiled it. It's over. Oh, we're doing multiverse. Also, Crypto wasn't a small, fluffy dog. He was literally based on what? Oh, what the hell is it called? It's not a whippet. I'm not talking about the drug. There's a type of dog I think called a whippet. A greyhound. No, it's not a greyhound. It's like a Labrador retriever or something. Crypto's a big dog. Why is he now like this weird fluffy dog? What is this? This isn't Crypto. This is like a kid's show other dog. For the man who has everything, thank you. Was already adapted. I know. That's what I'm talking about. I'm hoping that's not that. How the hell is that chick? Crypto scam. No, seriously. Ultraman is the big bad. The toy spoiled. I hate it. Why do we need Earth 3 to be involved right now? Why are we doing I guess, well, are we doing now? Oh, is that Metamorpho? Oh, yo, they got Metamorpho. He looks terrible, but it's Metamorpho. No way they got Metamorpho, dude. Wait a minute. Metamorpho? The Metamorpho. They got Metamorpho in this? He's a guy that basically transforms in the periodic table of elements. That's Metamorpho. Quick question. Why is the Green Lantern from Brave the bad? I have no idea. Who's this on the right? I don't know who that is. Again, the toy spoiled Metamorpho. I didn't look at the toys. I didn't know. It wasn't in the first trailer. But he doesn't look good. Metamorpho's a big dude, too. He's not some small, scrawny... That's also why I don't like this Superman either. He's way... Superman, this is like anime... No, even anime do a better job at making body proportions. Everyone's a twink now, skinny boy. Well, Guy Gardner looks like Guy... Dude, Nathan Fillion looks so ridiculous, man. Oh, my God. Oh, man. So we have Mr. Terrific. Hawkman is now in this. Oh, no, Hawkgirl, excuse me. Ooh. Ew, what is Guy... Ugh. The Guy Gardner's suit is wrong, man. What is the emblem on his chest? Are they doing the storyline from the 90s where he was actually an alien? Remember that? Corn Sweet had like 8 months to bulk up for... I know. He's too skinny. I'm sorry. All right? He's just too skinny in my opinion. It's not saying I'm never going to be happy. That's not my point. Okay, basically Absorbing Man, but weirder. No, being able to transform into anything is not Metamorpho's ability, though. Metamorpho can only do the periodic table of elements. He doesn't touch a thing and becomes a thing. It's anything on the periodic table of elements. That's why that one comic book cover had the periodic table, because that's his gimmick. Absorbing Man can absorb like gamma radiation and stuff like that. Absorbing Man's ridiculously powerful. Why is dude? This looks ridiculous. His head's too big for his body. I don't know who this big creature is. It might be a reference to something. I don't like Guy Gardner's outfit. I like the mostly, and also that green is not green. It's like a turquoise. There he is, the ginger. He looks ridiculous, but I guess Guy Gardner does look ridiculous, so I can't really be mad about that. It might be the perfect role. We'll see if he could do the accent or the Guy Gardnerisms. Look like not. They even had the Crypto movie. Come on, James Gunn, stop it self-inserting your stuff. That looks fake as hell. I ain't gonna lie, these rocks look fake. That looks fake as hell. I don't know, it doesn't look right. But yeah, that's Superman. I don't know where they're going with this. You see the entire world's conversation. Yeah, why are you a twink boy? Bulk up. Well, I guess he doesn't have to bulk up because his Superman's also skinny. Who the hell was that? Who the hell was that? Was that the same? No, there was too skinny. Is that the chick? Yeah, it is the chick. Don't know who this is. Is this going to be... Please tell me it's not the chick from Krypton, please. She looks like it. And I'm like, I guess that's okay, but I guess they're working with Lex Luthor. There's so many things. Oh, no, that could be Superwoman of Earth 3. She wore all black, didn't she? She's called Superwoman, isn't she? The Wonder Woman version of Earth 3. If you say Ultraman's already in there, they might be the Superwoman then. But the whole plot... Wait a minute. The whole plot of... Wait a minute. Lex Luthor was good on Earth 3 because he was a hero, but they were villains. So they're having this Lex Luthor call upon Earth 3 to teleport in? She's anachronistic because pretending to be quirky covers up her lack of... Gal Gadot. Oh, you can't even hear... That's Superman. I really don't have any other opinions on it. It looks okay. But I'm not for sure where they're heading in the direction of like multiverse stuff and all that. This is Stealth JSA drop gun confirmed years ago. Really? But what? Was Earth 3 part of the... What? But Earth 3... But Ultraman, though. So let's look at something that was almost... Not universally hated, obviously, because it'd be way worse. This is also second on the trending list, is the Marvel Television's Ironheart, which felt like a DEI replacement of Iron Man, okay? Who's like a super amazing Mary Sue genius that could do whatever she wants, okay? Yeah, I'm not joking. All right, Marvel. Yeah, let's go from James Gunn's Superman to this. Oh, my goodness. All right. I think her name's Riri Williams, if I remember correctly. Why does she look like Russell Westbrook? Nothing against her, but... Anyways, moving on. It's like Bella Ramsey, too. I'm just not saying she's not attractive. That's not what I'm saying. She looks a lot like Russell Westbrook. Just saying. That's a point of observation. It's not racism. What is happening? There's some random bomb rigged in an elevator? Is this a test? What are your thoughts on Andor? Never watched it. It was really going to be the Superman versus the Authority before the Warner Discovery merger muddled the idea. Superman looks like a 6.5 to 7. Yeah, something like that. Oh, yeah, Riri Williams. See, I know modern Marvel things for the detriment of my life. What is this? What is this? Are you trying to replicate Tony Stark in a cave building the first Iron Man suit out of scraps with shrapnel in his heart? The Miles Morales of Iron Man. I argue she's worse than that. Okay? She's like some super genius Mary Sue kid. I never like smart kid stereotypes because they're bad. Okay? You act like Mozart, because there's very few in existence that were true prodigies like Mozart, and even then he had issues. So, like, making him out to be like a kid genius, or it feels... And Mozart was doing it as a kid. He was constantly, okay? I would say obsessed, but he came from a family of good musicians. Okay, Mozart's sister was good. His father was good. They were all excellent. Even he's just a prodigy compared to normal people. But in his family, he was obviously better. But acting like the other people was with was nothing to scoff at. Look at this! Why would you bite into an electrical wire? Are you out of your mind? A live electrical wire. You bit into it. Oh my god, dude! Dumb people trying to look smart is not very good, okay? Yes, you can make the joke that it's me. I'm not dumb enough to bite a live electrical wire, okay? What is this? Is this flippant? It's pronounced Mozart. It's pronounced mozzarella. Wolfgang Amadeus, rock me, Jimmy D. Rock me, Amadeus. This reminds me of the Nick Nolte scene from Hulk. Where I don't know why they gave him Absorbing Man's powers, but he bites into the massive electrical wire. He bites into it and starts spitting it out, and he starts, and the Hulk's like, or Bruce Banner's like, from Ang Lee's Hulk. She's a normal human being. She doesn't have genetic superpowers. She's not a mutant. Oh my god. Stripping a wire with your mouth is insane. Notice how that sparks afterward? Yeah. Okay. Okay, good stuff. Whoa, what the What? What? How strong is she? What? Oh, okay, well, no. What? And she can lift it up? What? Oh my god, what What were they thinking, dude? Oh, my. Woo, yeah. The She-Hulk? Is this She-Hulk yet again? I don't even have to listen to the audio just to visually see how dumb this is. Fun fact, according to Bendis, Riri's initial inspiration for wanting to be better than Iron Man was because her teacher wouldn't discriminate against her. Insane, if that's true. What the hell is wrong with Marvel, man? Just replacing every white person with a black person or a minority is insane. They tried it. They straight up tried it. Remember, was that Cho Ling, Hulk, whatever, the Chinese guy, or not Chinese guy, the Asian guy, Hulk? They tried and it failed. It's like, dude, we like these people because there's already a pre-established character, not because of their race. If they were already black, like Black Panther, okay, we were fine with that. But the fact is, you would get pissed if Black Panther was white now. You absolutely would. I'm sick of this frippin' argument, okay? If Blade was white, people would be mad. Or try to be replaced by a white guy. That's, sorry, my bad. Replacing someone that's already a pre-established character. Okay, I like character just whatever race. I don't care about the ethnicity nearly as much, okay? It's not an issue in a comic book, okay? I like Blade. He's badass and awesome. Even his goofy 70s look, okay? With the afro and everything. All right? Wesley Snipes was awesome. I like Wesley Snipes in Blade. He was cool. Goofy lines like ice skating uphill, man. All these... And it's funny. Blade would tell these people, you're just trying to ice skate uphill, okay? It's talking Disney almost 10 years, though. They're finally... copying all the woke. Woke back then meant something different. It meant being aware. So now it's actually turned a phrase, per se. But it's like a 120-volt live wire instant death. I know! Are you moronic? And I'm pretty sure this is a test, right? That she passed? Yep, called it. Called it. I didn't even see this trailer. I already called it. I knew it was just a test room, and it's dumb. Tony Stark was in imminent danger from the Taliban, which he caused... himself because he gets hurt by his own weapons. That's the irony. That's why he becomes Iron Man in the movie. God, you don't understand storytelling. Okay, doing thing for the sake of doing thing is not good. I've said Chekhov's. I've said purpose, reason. There is relatability to a degree. I don't remember Blade having an afro. Look up original Blade design. He kind of has an afro to him. It's small afro. It's not a large afro. Original Blade design had him in like a yellow jacket. Was it 1970s or 80s? Original Blade had an afro, bro. Green jacket Blade, baby. Look at this, dude. Oh, I gotta hold on. I looked this on. Yeah, hold on. I'll look it up here. Hold on. Let me show you original Blade design, baby. Look at this. Black Dynamite. It kind of reminds me of Black Dynamite, which was a parody on black exploitation films. But all right, so let me show you Green Jacket Blade, baby. You ready to see some awesome stuff? Oh, and he was based on an iconic black actor, too, from the time. So it's not like they were doing black exploitation. They're literally, legitimately based on someone in real life. Obviously, the Blade, the newer version, was obviously based off something else. Who's he based off of? Jim Brown. Oh, yeah, that is Jim Brown, the freaking Cleveland Browns running back. So, well, that's a newer iteration of it, but this is original Blade design. Yes, he had the afro and even a beard, dude. Not a soul patch. It's a bit larger than a soul patch. But what's up, Aziz? How you doing? What's up, French hater here? Thanks, I guess. Shouldn't be saying that out loud. I don't hate the French. Remember Blade? Neither does Kevin Feige. Why is he? Well, actually, he was in the Deadpool and Wolverine film. It was more of a joke of them being, from other films. Marvel embraces portrayal in future comics, even retconned Blade to be a vampire herself rather than just a human hunter. Well, then they made him half human, half vampire. Why is it Eve Ewing involved in this? She was the only competent writer. Competent writers in modern Marvel TV shows and movies? Bye-bye. Jon Favreau and Kevin Feige just phoning it in or not being involved with anything? Nope. Good one, though. But that's what I was saying. There was inspiration for why they made the character the way it is. It wasn't just like racism. It was like, no, Jim Brown looks like a pretty, suave guy. I'm not saying he's a good guy. I think Jim Brown had some controversy with some stuff. But it's not like he looks ugly or intentionally trying to make your character ugly. I keep kicking, not kicking, but the freaking controller keeps falling. Okay, that looked like the worst. What was that computer work? Who is that bunched up? Stretch your arms out, woman. 150 IQ going to waste. This is my problem with idiots trying to write smart characters. You have to be as smart, and even to an argument, smarter than the character that you're writing. I think Michael Bendis understood that. Alan Moore understood that. He made one of the smartest characters of fiction in Ozymandias. I'm not saying he is the smartest, but he's pretty dang, aware of things. But he has a flaw, too, despite being intelligent, because he's not what? He's not wise. He's smart. Differentiate. He's very prideful, too, Ozymandias is. But even Alan Moore took inspiration from, The Question in those old comics. Rorschach comes from The Question and stuff like that. Oh, my God, that's right, dude. I forgot Wakanda's... Ah, yes, that's right. The genius inventor sister. It's trying to... Oh, my God, this looks so bad. I hope this flops. I hope this gets one season and fails. I'm sorry. I'm tired of bad stuff. I'm tired of just things being bad, dude. Riri was all Bendis. What was Bendis thinking, dude? But then, who's the guy that wrote the freaking Modern Fantastic Four? That was Michael... That was Bendis too, wasn't it? Oh, God. This is utterly forced. Was that the Iron Patriot? Who the hell? Oh, no, that's her suit. Also, not a single white person in this. I'm just pointing it out. This is DEI, the television series. Not a single white person. No, I guess the cops were white. Okay, great. Only on Disney Plus. The Hood is in this? Are you out of your mind? Yeah, the white bill. No way they put the Hood in this. Are you out of your mind? Why is the Hood in this? No. Oh, they're going to butcher it like they butchered Taskmaster. They're going to butcher... Oh, Jonathan Hickman, my bad. Thank you, Jonathan Hickman. I got Bendis and Hickman confused. Sorry, I was thinking of Jonathan Hickman. I'm getting confusing all these names. I don't care. How is the Hood a part of this? The Hood, a main villain for Riri Williams? Are you out of your mind? A demonic shroud that gives... he's not white. He's Mexican. Or a Hispanic, as they say. Or clearly a American minority, okay? Oh, my God. Dude, you're trying to be badass. Oh, my God. They steal the Hellboy scene? You steal the Hellboy scene where it says red means stop? And he punches down on the truck? Or like every super... How the F do you confuse Hickman with freaking Bendis? Modern writer. That's why. Modern Marvel writers. I get them mixed up. I don't really care for modern Marvel too much, but I know enough about it to be disappointed. I actually like studying and reading. Like I said, I didn't really have them growing up. I never told this specific story, but one of my freshman English teacher in high school, he was a nerdy guy, and he had a bunch of graphic novels and books and stuff. He was, like I said, a nerdy guy. He played guitar. I played his guitar in English class one time too, when I was younger. But he had the entire graphic novel of The Watchmen. And I was because I already knew about The Watchmen because I watched the movie and I liked the movie. And I saw things online about The Watchmen. But when I picked up the graphic novel, and the full thing, by the way, all the books combined to one, I was like, dude, I'm sitting here at the kitchen table just reading through it. I'm like, oh my God, this feels so, it feels good to read. But I was young. I was like 13, 14 years old reading The Watchmen, which is more for, I wouldn't say it's for teenagers. It's an adult graphic novel through and through. But understanding how writing works, why this character works in this scenario, morality, even from the smartest to the dumbest, stuff like that. This is terrible. You have a live, laugh, love sign? Are you for real? Shut up, man. That sucks. This is terrible. Oh, I guess this is the only white guy here. Is he dumb? Okay, hold on. Let's actually listen to the final dialogue.
It's literally above a crate of self-guided missiles.
I'm returning.
You bit into a live wire. Shut up. You have no room to criticize. Shut up, man. No wonder this is so bad. Pro tip, keep your expectations low so you won't be disappointed. I'm glad the comics and the likes are cooking this. No one wanted Ironheart the first time she came around the comics. To be fair, no one wanted Miles Morales either, but the animated film actually made him better. Okay? Actually, try to give him character, just beyond trying to replace Spider-Man. Now they had to just make it. Well, you're just part of the Ultimate Universe or an adjacent universe now. They have it in Riri Williams. They're just trying to establish them to be. Sorry, I'm not Tony Stark. Actually, it's super easy, barely an inconvenience. Yeah, see my point. Yeah, even with scientists in the best rooms, could not recreate what Tony Stark did in a cave. That's part of Tony Stark being a flippin' super genius. As an electrician, I too use my teeth to remove wire isolation. I do too. That's great. I love it when you get the little tingle on your tongue when you get shocked. Oh, she ain't live wire. Dude, don't remind me of Iron Man 2, okay? Mickey Rourke! Sony made Miles an actual character. Yeah. Well, it's the animated art style helps too. There was even a female Dr. Octopus in that one, which you could argue may or may not be woke. But the thing is they do, if they want to change something, they'll just call it an adjacent universe so they can hide behind criticism. Some cases, but I'm not going to say. I didn't watch the second one. I watched the first one. Right? Wait, was it? Yeah, there's two, isn't there? There's not just one, because the first one shows that he's becoming Miles Morales' Spider-Man. Yeah. I think there's two, right? Because the first one was the Lady Doc Ock. What was the... No, it was Kingpin. No, it was both Kingpin and the female Doc Ock. Was there a second one? Dude, I can't remember. Whatever. My point is that they actually try to make Miles Morales a character outside the comics. Try to make him... That's Whiplash. I'm talking about the electric girl from... Oh, yeah. Okay, I got you now, yeah. By the live action take girl. Right. I thought she was going to build a suit inside the elevator. Same. No, actually, I knew it was just a test room based on how they were doing it, because they're trying to prove that she's smart. They didn't understand why Tony Stark built in a cave. That's why I said, Marvel does not understand why things happen anymore. Spider-Verse 2 had Miguel. Yeah, that's right. O'Hara. That's right. That's the sequel. I haven't seen the sequel. I saw the first film. It's like, yeah, they're trying to not see that Miles Morales is the replacement for Peter Parker. And I know modern Marvel craps on Peter Parker. Well, not modern. They're like the 2000s. Even 20-some years ago, they were still not knowing what to do with Peter Parker, like ruining MJ's marriage or their marriage together by having a contract with Mephisto and stuff like that. God, you've got a heart made of iron, Riri. No way they said that in this. God. Everyone has commented on the Dean moving from Greendale to MIT, but he made that move way back in Civil War. Really? No kidding. What a deep cut reference. Too bad. Let Peter retire. They can't. He's too iconic. What do you think Miles Morales was? I don't know if in the beginning he was the Ultimate Universe first, but he was trying to replace. They were trying to replace classic characters, and they got backlash for it, and that's why it didn't work. That's why Cho didn't replace Bruce Banner. That's why Riri Williams didn't replace Tony Stark. That's why Miles Morales never replaced Peter Parker. Let's make an alternate universe or a side story no one's going to read. Awesome. Thanks, bro. They live in an echo chamber. They do. Freaking California. I think it's California. LA mentality. The villain being the Hood is hilariously on the nose. Yeah. A young black woman being told by the Hood that the only way to make it in the world is to do question. Come on, man. I'm surprised the Hood isn't pointing. Yeah. Yeah, but Greendale to MIT is insane, too. And even if it was in Civil War, that's also insane. He degraded. The bravest thing about the show is it's actually being released. I'm glad everyone's crapping on us. It deserves to be. Marvel doesn't know what they're doing with Star Wars. They don't know what they're doing with any of these franchises now. You thought a video game crash was imminent? I'm surprised nothing else is crashing. There needs to be like a cultural reset. Okay, why are we getting Peacemaker Season 2? Anyways, Ultimate Peter died, which why Miles took over before he was revived. Anyways, then Ultimate Marvel was merged with Marvel proper. Anyways, yeah, there you go. Well, if you're not going to replace it, make a side story the same as it ever was. No wonder Marvel tried to bury the show. Well, it could bury it. What do you mean bury the show, man? They've got second on trending, which is insane. I'm actually going to look at the trending page for like the first time in some time. Dude, tell me this isn't bought and paid for. Most of them are just trailers. I would rather be more interested in watching Nobody 2 than flipping most of the stuff on here. Did these guys pay to be on trending? I think they did, didn't they? Isn't that the point of trending? Anyways. Moving on. Because you could pay for promotions on YouTube, by the way, if you didn't already know that. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I don't really got much else. I got a lot of editing to do, as you can tell, if I'm going to edit this stuff. But they don't like the term masshole. Not that far from MIT, yeah. What the? Massachusetts Institute of Technology, what? Not that far from MIT. That ain't what Cambridge is like. Yeah, it was confirmed years ago that it was a trendy page. It's basically paid advertisement. Yeah, I figured. That's not saying I've been up with everything. Well, you're a YouTuber. Why you know these things? Well, every kind of things were already bought and paid for. That's why people are whitelisted in the algorithm. Anyways, well, this sucks. Well, yeah, I just went. It's a shame. We went from one depressing thing to another. The most hype thing was, of all the things that we just watched today, was flipping Metamorpho. And he's not even that. Listen, he doesn't even look that great. He's just one of those side guilty pleasure heroes. You're like, wow, he does a cool thing. But other than that, yeah. I don't really have much other news or anything to that degree. Like, I found out about Ironheart today, because obviously it just released today. 11 hours ago. Yeah, which would be today. That would have been 9 a.m. But yeah, the Superman trailer I found out today, but I did want to talk about Doom: The Dark Ages. Definitely as thoroughly as I could without having to play it. You know, because I don't want to. I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to force me to play just to know something's bad. That's bad. Okay? I'd rather go play Marvel 1 instead. I'd rather, you'd probably play Marvel vs. Capcom 1, 2, or 3. So we got Meet PS3 Doom, then we got Metamorpho, and now a She-Hulk. No, DEI, forced DEI woke stuff that they're trying to force to replace Tony Stark. It's crazy. You know why they do it now? Because in their universe, Tony Stark is dead. We need a new Iron Man. No, we don't. Okay, they even did a storyline where their Iron Man had a brother. We've done a storyline where Tony Stark was evil. Okay, Arno Stark, remember, since when? What do you mean since when? What are you talking about? For what? Which statement was a since when moment? Which one are you talking about? Since when did Iron Man die? At the end of Infinity War, where he snaps? That power killed him. He couldn't wield it. He wasn't. It's not to say he wasn't worthy. That's not what I mean. The power killed him. He snaps and he dies. They have the funeral at the end of Infinity War. Bro, did I just spoil? Dude, it's been 6 years, man. Iron Man's dead in this universe. I didn't watch Infinity War. Black Widow. So the problem is Black Widow and Tony Stark die, right? Robert Downey Jr. is apparently going to play Doctor Doom now. Okay, what the... Whatever that it's going to be. You know, Secret Wars. No, they already did Secret Wars, I think. No, they did the No, not the Goblin. The Skrull invasion already. I want it to be Secret Wars. I want a good adaptation that wasn't just the 90s Spider-Man animated show, even though that's a good one. So we're going to have Dr. Stark, essentially. I don't know how he's going to play Doctor Doom, but... Riri was also the Invincible Iron Man, yeah. Infamous. I like Superior Iron Man, where he went evil and he's like, you know what, screw it. Why not? A little bit. Poorly, Robert Downey Jr. is only playing a multiversal variant of Doom. Of course it's multiverse. Dude, I'm so sick of the multiverse. I know it's part of the comic books, and I know, but there was a reason why they stopped doing it. I like how the Crisis on Infinite Earths was to prove a point that we got too many flippant stories, too many people. We're having one Earth now for now. And then they did Infinite Crisis, and they did more crises. Oh, man, dude. Oh, Lex Luthor is good. I know, it's Alexander Luthor, technically. We're different Earth. But he's actually evil. He seems good, but he's actually evil and corrupts Superboy Prime. Okay, I just burnt Marvel. There's a reason why I stopped watching videos about comics and reading comics. You just get burnt out of like stuff. Okay, I'm not saying there isn't any good stories that I haven't read yet, of course. You know, but I'm the guy that actually read V for Vendetta. You know, how many people could say that? No, I'm just saying, I'm kidding about that. It's not something to brag about, but I actually went out of the way to read the source material for that movie. Alan Moore, of course. I like his stuff for the most part. You know, Jerusalem and stuff like that gets a little crazy. Also, Luther's younger clone disguised as his Australian nephew. Dude, man, this multiverse. I'm tired of the multiverse, man. I can't care when you're trying to not only replace people, but constantly have different versions of characters I don't care for. Not saying I don't like Ultraman as a concept or a world where all the heroes are actually villains and the villains are heroes. They're swapped. I've already read. Right. There was a movie of it, but I think I read the comic as well of that. I can't remember what it's called. The movie was like the Syndicate or whatever, what it was called. The Crime Syndicate, that's right. That's what they're called, with Owlman, Superwoman, Ultraman. I can't remember the Flash variant's name. Quick Guy. His name's not Quick Guy, dude. I'd get fired if I suggest. You should be fired immediately if you suggest a name like that. I'm Quick Guy. Don't you know I'm Johnny? Well, they already have like stuff like Johnny Quick anyways, but eventually you're just going to run out of ideas that aren't good enough to work, or try to replace things instead of creating your own thing. I heard that evil copies. They can't create on its own. There's a difference between inspiration and copying, dude. Anyways, I think I'm good for today. I think this has been a long enough stream. I know it hasn't been I know, like, I usually do Gartic, but this was more, I think, more important to me to talk about. From 1987 until 1981, there was basically an unofficial mandate that prevented Batman and Superman from having extraneous crossovers in their titles. And it's funny because the Superman animated TV show had Bruce Wayne in it and Batman. Yeah, because I don't have anything else to talk about. Watch my new movie, or watch my new movie. Watch my new video if you want. It's a review playthrough of Rayman a little bit. It shows you about art design and game design, what works, what doesn't work. But anyways, other than that, I don't think I got much more rambling or ranting on the page. Watch new movie. That's not. I didn't mean new movie. Also, I want to shout out to a new follower on Twitch, Big Boris. You finally came around and found out that I had another Twitch channel. Don't know where you been, Big Boris, but thank you for the follow. Shout out to Big Boris. He won't even hear. He won't watch the stream. Then by 1993, the Justice League was regularly in the Superman books. I know, because they made the Justice League shows, Justice League Unlimited, which were good shows. They understood adult themes in childhood, but not being gross about it. They're just trying to show mature themes. I shouldn't say adult, mature, coming of age concepts. Because the characters you talk about are adults, not kids, right? If I want to watch a kids show, you can just watch freaking Bubble Guppies or something. No. Teenagers want to watch things that they can relate to and understand. Grow, like, coming of age story. Whatever, man. All right, chat. I want you all to take care of yourselves. Have an excellent one. My next videos will probably be the reactions to these videos and maybe a Spyro the Dragon one in the future. Raven is 18 in Teen Titans 2003. I don't know if that's true or not. Probably is. Time to drink coffee and think about slop of a plot. This is a decent, not bad of a plot, like the multiverse, yeah. We'll see where this goes. We got months before any of this stuff comes out anyways. I don't know any good... Actually, hold on. Hydrate, hold on. I don't know if any new games are coming out. This one was the most... I'm sorry, I'm far away from my mic, but... What else to say? I don't know any other new game releases that are coming out this month, if any at all. I probably won't play them. Drink Maxwell House now. Oh, I'm drinking water, actually. It's almost 9 o'clock at night for me. I'm not going to do that. I already had coffee. I had coffee before the stream, actually, so I'm good. But I want everyone to take care of themselves, have a good one. Expect videos to come out maybe around, like, between noon and 4 is usually when I release a video. And it'll just be the reaction stuff. If you don't care about that, Spyro the Dragon video will probably be out in the future. It'll be in a similar style to Rayman 1. All right? But you take care of yourself, too, dude. I will, man. Take care of yourselves. God help us all in this new year of media in 2025. Eastern Daylight Time.